In 1960, the first human descent into the Mariana Trench was accomplished by researchers Jacques Picard and Don Walsh aboard the bathyscaphe Trieste. This expedition was a true test, as the bathyscaphe's cabin was incredibly cramped, just 3 square meters for 2 people and equipment. The submersible descended into the cold waters of the Pacific Ocean, where temperatures approached zero, and even under such conditions, the crew had to focus on their mission. The silence during the descent was deafening. The sounds of the bathyscaphe and its mechanisms drowned out everything around it. Beyond the porthole, there was absolute darkness, occasionally broken by flashes of light from research instruments. Every meter of depth brought them closer to the unknown, and the tension grew, both physically and emotionally. Picard and Walsh knew that each moment could be their last, as the pressure at such depths exceeded 800 atmospheres. When they reached the bottom at a depth of 10,900 meters, their world beyond the porthole was filled with mysterious shadows and forms that humanity could only speculate about. The descent lasted about 5 hours, and both knew they were part of history as the bathyscaphe opened up new avenues for deep-sea ecosystem research. Surrounded by crystal-clear water, they felt they were exploring not just physical space, but the limits of human capability. The Mariana Trench is the deepest place on Earth, located in the Pacific Ocean, approximately 2,000 kilometers to the southeast of the Philippines. Its maximum depth is 10,981 meters, making it inaccessible to most living beings on the planet. The discovery of the Mariana Trench occurred in 1841 when the British ship HMS Challenger conducted the first deep-sea measurements. Since then, this natural formation has been the subject of numerous studies and debates. The pressure at the bottom of the trench reaches almost 1 ton per square centimeter, which is 1,000 times greater than the atmospheric pressure on the surface. The temperature of the water at a depth of around 0 degrees Celsius creates extreme conditions where life, if it exists, has adapted to these harsh realities. The Mariana Trench is perceived as an impregnable fortress, hiding its secrets from human eyes and remaining largely unexplored. Researchers diving into this abyss encounter incredible challenges, including the need to combat pressure and cold, making each expedition not only scientific, but also a genuine adventure. At the bottom of the trench, scientists find unusual forms of life, such as amphipods and microorganisms, which amazingly survive in such extreme conditions. Each new fact obtained from the depths of the Mariana Trench only underscores how little we know about our own world and what lies hidden beneath the surface of the oceans. According to statistics, only 20% of the world ocean has been thoroughly explored and charted, putting us in a position to compare it with the Moon. We know much more about its surface. For instance, NASA data show that the lunar surface has been studied almost completely, while ocean depths remain a mystery to us. Moreover, some parts of the ocean remain absolutely unexplored. We are talking about 38 million square kilometers, which is equivalent to the entire area of Europe. Even with modern technologies such as underwater drones and deep-sea submarines, the exploration of oceans is slow. Relatively, it takes decades more time to explore the ocean than to explore space. For example, while over the past 50 years humanity has sent more than 50 missions to the Moon, only a few expeditions have reached the deepest points of the ocean, such as the Challenger Deep. This leads to a paradox. Despite reaching Mars and sending probes to the edges of our solar system, on the planet we live on, there are still enormous gaps in our knowledge. Deep-sea ecosystems, located under pressure of several hundred atmospheres, remain almost unknown, and their inhabitants, such as the giant squid, remain a mystery to us. This highlights how unevenly our knowledge is distributed. While we can describe the surfaces of other planets, on our own planet, we cannot confidently say what forms of life exist in the depths that we have not yet reached. Deep-sea ecosystems are among the most mysterious and complex biomes on our planet, hidden beneath layers of ocean water. These ecosystems form under conditions that affect every form of life dwelling at such depths. Pressure at 1,000 meters reaches significant levels, making the existence of most known organisms impossible. In the absence of sunlight, life adapts to darkness, utilizing chemosynthesis instead of photosynthesis, creating unique food chains. Temperatures in deep seas fluctuate from 0 to several degrees above, but even in these conditions, organisms find ways to survive, developing special proteins and enzymes that function at low temperatures. These ecosystems resemble alien worlds. Organisms can have unusual shapes and sizes, and their adaptability capabilities are astonishing. For example, some of them can use minerals found on the ocean floor as an energy source, opening new horizons for understanding life in extreme conditions. These ecosystems not only represent unique models of life but also serve as keys to unraveling ecological processes on Earth. Scientists continue to explore these depths, uncovering more amazing adaptation mechanisms that allow life to thrive in the most inhospitable corners of our planet. In such conditions, where every drop of water is filled with unknown mysteries, life manages to find its way, challenging our understanding of the possibilities of living organisms. Anglerfish are a striking example of extreme adaptation to life in the absolute darkness of the ocean depths. These creatures, which inhabit depths ranging from 800 to 2,000 meters, have developed unique biological characteristics that enable them to survive in conditions where light does not penetrate and food becomes scarce. The most notable feature of anglerfish is their bioluminescent lure, a long, glowing appendage that attracts small fish and invertebrates, which become prey for the anglerfish. Anglerfish have a massive mouth that can stretch to capture prey much larger than themselves, thanks to the incredible elasticity of their stomach walls, which can expand and adapt to the size of the food. Additionally, the striking dimorphism between male and female anglerfish is worth noting. Males are significantly smaller than females, sometimes 10 times so, and often lack a lure. Adult males attach themselves to females, penetrating their skin, and become parasites, facilitating the exchange of genetic material with the larger and stronger partner. These adaptations allow anglerfish not only to hunt in conditions where other species cannot survive, but also to continue their lineage in the dark depths of the ocean. Giant squids are a symbol of the mysterious depths of the ocean, embodying the mysteries that humanity has tried to solve for centuries. The first evidence of their existence appeared in ancient Greek myths, where they were called Scylla or Charybdis and described as terrifying sea monsters capable of swallowing ships. Throughout the Middle Ages, sailors told chilling stories of giant squids attacking their vessels, but there were no real proofs of these creatures' existence. Scientific recognition of giant squids began only in the 18th century, when naturalists started documenting their remains on shores. However, studying these creatures remained a challenging task due to their habit of living in deep waters and the rarity of encounters with them. The first successful video recordings of live giant squids in their natural habitat were made in 2010, when a Japanese team led by researcher Hiroshi Ishizuka captured them off the coast of Japan. These recordings stunned the scientific community, providing a unique opportunity to observe the behavior of these enigmatic creatures. Giant squids can grow to lengths of more than 14 meters and possess remarkable abilities for camouflage and rapid reaction, making them even more intriguing objects of study. Hydrothermal sources, or black smokers, are underwater volcanic structures from which hot, mineral-rich waters are ejected. These sources form at the boundaries of tectonic plates, where seawater penetrates cracks in the Earth's crust, is heated by magma, and is then expelled back into the ocean. The temperature of the water in these sources can reach over 300 degrees Celsius. At the same time, the water contains dissolved minerals such as hydrogen sulfide, which serves as the primary energy source for unique ecosystems that thrive around these oases. In the absence of sunlight, chemosynthetic microorganisms flourish, using chemical reactions to synthesize organic compounds. These organisms serve as food for larger inhabitants like tube worms, mollusks, and various shellfish. Such ecosystems are not only remarkable examples of life on Earth, but also crucial objects of study in the context of searching for life on other planets. The discovery of hydrothermal sources has shown that life can exist in extreme conditions where light and traditional energy sources are unavailable. For instance, on Europa, a moon of Jupiter, there are powerful subglacial oceans that may harbor similar ecosystems. Research on these sources continues, and each new discovery opens up new horizons in understanding biological processes and the possibilities of life in the cosmos. Recent expeditions have revealed that some worm species can reach impressive sizes, up to 1 meter in length, highlighting the richness and diversity of life in these conditions. Deep ocean currents are a remarkable phenomenon, often likened to invisible rivers flowing beneath the surface of the oceans. These powerful streams of water, moving slowly but inexorably, transport colossal volumes of water, playing a crucial role in Earth's climate system. Their impact on climate is incalculable. They regulate the heat balance, moving warm water from the equator to the poles and facilitating the circulation of nutrients essential for the life of marine organisms. Deep ocean currents act as global air conditioners, cooling and heating various regions of the planet. Changes in these currents can cause significant climate fluctuations, affecting weather and ecosystems both on land and at sea. For instance, disruptions to these currents can lead to abrupt temperature changes in certain areas, which in turn impact agriculture, animal migration, and even human health. These hidden rivers not only control the temperature of the oceans but also influence atmospheric processes, making them vital for understanding global climate changes. Research shows that even small changes in the speed or direction of deep ocean currents can have far-reaching consequences for the entire planet, including an increase in the frequency of extreme weather events. Scientists continue to study these mysterious currents, aiming to unravel their secrets and understand how they will change in the face of global warming. One such mystery is how these currents will respond to changes in ocean surface temperature and atmospheric carbon dioxide levels. In the depths of the oceans, where darkness reigns and pressure reaches alarming levels, vast masses of water ensure the stability and balance of our planet. The Gulf Stream is a powerful ocean current that originates in the Gulf of Mexico and flows through the Atlantic Ocean towards the north, influencing the climate of Europe. It carries warm water, making the climate in Western Europe milder than in similar latitudes to the east. The temperature of the water in the Gulf Stream can reach 18 degrees Celsius and above, which is significantly warmer than the surrounding water. The speed of the current varies, but on average it ranges from 2 to 5 kilometers per hour, and the volume of water it carries can reach around 30 million cubic meters per second. This makes the Gulf Stream one of the most significant currents in the world, and its impact on the climate is immense. Historically, there have been various theories about the possibility of the Gulf Stream slowing down or changing its direction, which could lead to significant climatic changes in Europe. Scientists have noted that due to global warming, the speed of the current may decrease, which in turn could negatively affect the temperature regimes in Europe. For example, research in 2009 showed that the Gulf Stream had slowed down compared to the middle of the 20th century, which has raised concerns about the potential consequences for weather and climate in the region. These changes could affect not only temperature but also precipitation, which in turn could impact agriculture and ecosystems. It is important to understand that the Gulf Stream is not just a current, but an entire system that influences weather conditions and ecosystems over large areas. Research continues, and scientists are collecting data to understand how the Gulf Stream may change in the future and what consequences this could have for us. The deep ocean current of the Southern Ocean around Antarctica, known as the Antarctic Circumpolar Current, plays a key role in the global water circulation system. This current, formed by the interaction of cold Antarctic water with warmer ocean waters, facilitates the movement of large volumes of water around the world. It connects ecosystems and climate systems, transporting heat and nutrients. Additionally, this current influences the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. As cold waters absorb carbon dioxide, they help regulate the level of this greenhouse gas. Research indicates that changes in ocean temperature and the reduction of the ice cover in Antarctica could weaken this current, thereby decreasing its ability to absorb carbon dioxide. This poses a risk of increasing the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which could accelerate global warming. Scientists warn that if this current changes, the consequences could be catastrophic for marine ecosystems, climate, and ultimately, for humanity. Specifically, changes in water circulation could lead to abrupt changes in weather conditions, sea level rise, and even impact agriculture in various parts of the world. It is important to note that the Southern Ocean current is threatened by climate change, and its further study is becoming increasingly urgent. Scientists are monitoring its behavior and attempting to understand how it will react to changes in the environment to predict possible consequences for the planet. Observations have shown that even small changes in the speed or direction of the current can have significant impacts on the entire global ocean. The Bermuda Triangle is a geographical zone renowned for its high number of disappearances of ships and aircraft, which has created an aura of mystery and fear around it. This region is located in the northern part of the Atlantic Ocean and is bounded by Florida, the Bahamas, and Puerto Rico. The area of the triangle is approximately 1 million square kilometers, making it one of the most enigmatic places on Earth. Over the past few decades, more than 1,000 cases of disappearances have been recorded, further fueling interest in this phenomenon. In this area, unusual atmospheric phenomena and intense maritime and aerial routes are frequently observed, which may explain part of the mystery, but do not provide satisfactory answers to all questions. Theories about the causes of these disappearances range from magnetic anomalies and underwater volcanoes to extraterrestrial interventions and secret military operations. Despite scientific research and attempts to explain the occurrences, the Bermuda Triangle continues to be a subject of discussion and debate, attracting the attention of both scientists and enthusiasts of the paranormal. Around it, a culture of myths and legends has developed, making it even more intriguing for researchers and tourists. In December 1945, an enigmatic disappearance of 5 torpedo bombers Vino, 19, occurred in the Bermuda Triangle area. The crew, consisting of 20 people, took off on a training flight from the base in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and soon after takeoff began reporting strange occurrences. Pilots noted that their compasses were acting strangely and they were unable to determine their direction. The last radio message was received at 3:30 a.m. when the flight commander, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, reported navigation confusion and their inability to find their way back. A rescue operation was immediately launched. Numerous aircraft and ships, including a U.S. Navy search squadron, were deployed. The search efforts lasted for several days and covered a vast area, but no aircraft or any trace of the crew was found. The strange circumstances only added to the mysterious aura surrounding this incident. One of the search aircraft also disappeared, further complicating the already confusing situation. Many researchers and enthusiasts of the paranormal link this disappearance to various theories, from magnetic anomalies to extraterrestrial civilizations, but none of these theories have been proven. Ultimately, none of the torpedo bombers were found, and the fate of the crew remains a mystery to this day. The Bermuda Triangle has also been the site of other disappearances, making this region one of the most discussed in aviation and navigation history. In March 1918, the ship Cyclops disappeared in the waters of the Bermuda Triangle. This was one of the largest industrial ships of its time. The Cyclops was 130 meters long and carried more than 300 people, including crew and passengers. Built for coal transport, it set sail from Barbados to Baltimore, with its last known location recorded near Puerto Rico. The Cyclops did not send a distress signal before disappearing, which has sparked numerous questions. The ship simply vanished, as if it dissolved into the water. Among the various theories explaining this mysterious disappearance, one of the most common suggests that the ship may have encountered a severe hurricane, but no storm traces were found in the area at the time. Another theory points to possible structural issues with the ship, as it was overloaded, which could have led to its sinking. There is also speculation that the ship could have been a victim of pirates or even sunk due to a conflict, as this period coincided with World War I. Regardless, the disappearance of the Cyclops adds another page to the Bermuda Triangle's library of mysteries, where so many stories of lost ships and planes are told. Scientific explanations for the Bermuda Triangle phenomenon vary from methane gas emissions to magnetic field anomalies and unusual weather conditions. One of the most discussed theories involves methane hydrates, which are found on the ocean floor. When these hydrates break down, they can release large volumes of methane into the water, which can reduce the water's density and cause ships to sink. Research indicates that methane emissions do occur in this region, and their impact on buoyancy could explain some disappearances. Additionally, magnetic anomalies in the Bermuda Triangle have also sparked interest among scientists. These anomalies can affect compasses, causing ships and aircraft to deviate from their courses. For instance, in this area lies what is known as the magnetic triangle, where the Earth's magnetic field behaves unusually, leading to navigational errors. Another theory concerns unusual weather phenomena, such as tropical storms and hurricanes, which can form rapidly. This can result in sudden and dangerous conditions for ships and aircraft. Moreover, this region often experiences strong waves that can reach heights of up to 20 meters. It is also important to consider human factors, navigational errors, lack of experience among crew members, and inadequate preparation for unexpected situations all play a significant role in the disappearances. Combined, these factors create a picture where mysterious incidents can be explained from the perspective of modern science. In the 20th century, numerous studies were conducted to analyze data on disappearances, but none of these explanations provided a complete answer to the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. Over 200 cases of ships and aircraft disappearing in this area continue to puzzle researchers and historians. The Sea Devil, or Dragon's Hole, is a mysterious oceanic phenomenon that captivates the attention of both scientists and enthusiasts of marine mysteries. It is a powerful whirlpool capable of pulling both small objects and large vessels underwater, and for centuries has been a source of both fear and awe for sailors and researchers. Across various cultures, this phenomenon has been surrounded by numerous myths and legends. For instance, some peoples describe it as the abode of mythical creatures that guard the depths of the seas and entangle those who dared to cross their boundaries. In other cultures, the Sea Devil is seen as a manifestation of divine wrath, punishing disobedient sailors. These whirlpools can form due to complex interactions between currents, winds, and the geological features of the ocean floor. Their power and unpredictability often lead to shipwrecks, stories of which are passed down by survivors. In the folklore of many maritime communities, such phenomena serve as a warning about the necessity of respecting the forces of nature. Scientific research confirms that in some cases, these whirlpools can reach impressive sizes and speeds, making them truly dangerous for navigation. Ultimately, the Sea Devil remains a mystery, the subject of legends and scientific articles, and its study continues to attract the attention of both scientists and enthusiasts of the occult. As a result, descriptions of such phenomena can be found in maritime chronicles, where they hold a distinguished place among other maritime wonders. Maelstrom is a famous whirlpool located between the islands of the Lofoten archipelago in northern Norway. It forms in a narrow strait between the island of Vestfagøya and the mainland, where powerful tidal currents meet. The dimensions of the whirlpool are impressive. Its diameter can reach up to 30 meters, and its depth can reach up to 100 meters. The speed of the current in the maelstrom can reach up to 20 meters per second during the highest tides, creating a spectacular sight. The intensity of the whirlpool is directly dependent on the phases of the moon. During full moons and new moons, when the tides are at their maximum, the maelstrom becomes particularly dangerous, sometimes engulfing small vessels. This phenomenon has attracted the attention not only of sailors but also of writers. Edgar Allan Poe mentions the maelstrom in his poem The Raven, where he describes it as a place filled with terror and mystery. Jules Verne also did not remain indifferent. In his novel 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, he creates a gloomy atmosphere around this whirlpool, emphasizing its power and unpredictability. The maelstrom has become a symbol of the unbridled power of nature and continues to stir the imagination of those who encounter its might. The maelstrom of Naruto in Japan is a unique natural phenomenon that occurs in a narrow strait between the islands of Awaji and Shikoku. The strait is only about 4 kilometers wide, and it is here that the Japanese Sea and the Seto Sea meet. This meeting of waters creates powerful whirlpools that can reach a diameter of up to 20 meters and a flow speed of up to 21 kilometers per hour. The intensity of the whirlpool depends on the lunar cycles, making it particularly fascinating to observe. The largest whirlpools appear during full moons and new moons. For the Japanese, the Naruto whirlpool holds not only natural significance but also cultural importance. Since ancient times, it has been considered a place where spirits dwell, and in local mythology, the whirlpool is associated with various legends about sea deities. Tourism around the whirlpool is actively developing. Boat tours allow tourists to see the whirlpools up close, while special observation platforms offer breathtaking views of this natural wonder. Local residents also hold festivals and celebrations dedicated to the whirlpool, underscoring its importance in the region's culture. The Naruto whirlpool not only captivates with its beauty, but also serves as a significant symbol of the connection between humans and nature, reflecting both its power and its mystery. The Saltstraumen in Norway is considered the world's most powerful tidal current. Its maximum speed can reach up to 36 kilometers per hour, making it a truly awe-inspiring phenomenon. The Saltstraumen is formed in a narrow strait between the island of Malloy and the mainland of Norway, which is only 300 meters wide. This current regularly changes its direction. Twice a day, with the incoming and outgoing tides, it reverses, creating impressive whirlpools and bubbles on the water's surface. The Saltstraumen not only attracts tourists but also plays a critical role in the local ecosystem, particularly for fisheries. Its waters are home to various fish species, including cod and salmon, making this place a true paradise for fishermen. Local fishing communities benefit from this natural feature, using it for fishing, which supports their economy and traditional way of life. Interestingly, the tidal flows created by the Saltstraumen contribute to the movement of nutrients, which affects the development of plankton and, consequently, the entire marine food chain. Submerged worlds, concealing sunken cities and civilizations, present themselves as true mysteries to archaeologists and historians. These settlements, swallowed by the depths of the sea, hold secrets of the past that can alter our understanding of human history. Across different corners of the planet, there exist entire megacities that once served as centers of life, trade, and culture, now lying dormant beneath the water's surface like lost treasures. Imagine streets once bustling with sounds and life, now lifeless and forgotten, covered in coral reefs and marine vegetation. The study of such submerged sites not only helps to reconstruct the past, but also reveals how climatic changes and natural catastrophes have influenced the development of civilizations. These underwater archaeological finds often serve as a slow-motion time capsule, where each artifact, be it a shard of pottery or an old coin, can uncover new facets of culture, economy, and daily life of the people who once inhabited these lands. However, it is precisely in this mysterious environment that archaeologists face numerous challenges: limited visibility, complex working conditions, and the need for specialized technologies to study underwater objects. The development of new methods, such as underwater robotic systems, opens up new horizons for the exploration of these submerged worlds, allowing us to peer into their secrets that have remained hidden from human eyes for centuries. Water, as a natural archive, not only preserves artifacts but also the atmosphere of bygone eras, igniting in researchers a keen desire to unravel the enigmas left behind by our ancestors. This odyssey into the world of submerged civilizations continues to inspire scientists with new discoveries, and each new investigation can be a key to understanding how we have evolved into what we are today. Archaeologists have discovered numerous fascinating objects that were used in the daily life of the submerged cultures. The sunken city of Pavlopetri is located off the coast of Greece and is considered one of the oldest underwater cities in the world. Its age is estimated to be around 5,000 years, making it a contemporary of the earliest civilizations in Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt. The city was discovered in 1966 and has since attracted the attention of archaeologists and historians. The layout of the streets is remarkably well preserved, allowing researchers to reconstruct the city's appearance. Archaeologists have found remnants of buildings, including residential homes, public buildings, and possibly temples. Notably, the streets of Pavlopetri intersect at right angles, indicating a planned approach to urban planning. The artifacts found, such as ceramics, tools, and household items, testify to the high standard of living of its inhabitants and their advanced culture. Various theories exist about the causes of the city's flooding. One suggests that it was due to a strong earthquake that could have triggered landslides and a rise in water levels. Other studies point to a gradual increase in sea level caused by climate change, which could also have led to the city being submerged. As further excavations and research continue, new discoveries may shed light on the mysteries of Pavlopetri. It is worth noting that the city is located at a depth of approximately 4 meters and covers an area of about 30 hectares. The underwater city of Yonaguni is located off the coast of Japan and has sparked much debate among scientists and researchers. Structures discovered at a depth of approximately 5 meters include right angles, staircases, and platforms, leading some experts to suggest that these are man-made constructions. Advocates of this theory point to symmetrical lines and clear contours, which they believe cannot be explained by natural processes alone. They argue that such geometric forms are characteristic of human architecture, and the findings resemble elements that could be part of an ancient city. On the other hand, geologists and erosion specialists maintain that the structures of Yonaguni could have formed through natural processes such as erosion and tectonic movements. They note that similar geological formations exist elsewhere and can be explained by the action of water and wind on soft rocks. Some researchers even compare Yonaguni to other natural formations, such as underwater canyons and terraces, which have formed over long geological periods. The debate over the origin of this mysterious city continues. For instance, in 2007, Japanese researchers conducted underwater investigations that confirmed the presence of traces indicating possible human intervention, but definitive conclusions were not reached. Currently, neither theory has received final scientific confirmation, making Yonaguni one of the most intriguing mysteries of underwater archaeology. Sunken city of Heracleion, also known as Thonis, was discovered in the early 2000s in the delta of the Nile, near the modern city of Alexandria. An archaeological expedition led by French underwater archaeologist Frédéric Guillemot resulted in sensational finds. Beneath the water lay massive stone monuments, temples, and statues of pharaohs and gods that once stood proudly in this important port city. Heracleion was one of the largest trade ports of ancient Egypt, and its submersion was a true catastrophe for the country's economy. Archaeologists found numerous sunken ships, evidence of the thriving trade that once flourished in the region. Among the most significant finds were a statue of the god Osiris standing over 3 meters tall and a temple dedicated to the goddess Isis, which has been remarkably well preserved. The cause of the catastrophe that led to Heracleion's submersion remains a subject of debate among historians and archaeologists. One theory suggests that the city could have been destroyed by a strong earthquake followed by a tsunami, which could have caused its immediate submersion. Other researchers propose a theory of slow submersion due to rising water levels caused by climate change and human activity. Despite the various theories, Heracleion remains a mystery filled with historical artifacts waiting to be uncovered. 2,000 meters from the shore, archaeologists continue to search for new finds that could help reconstruct the full picture of life in this ancient city. Sunken ruins of Dvaraka on the coast of India present a true archaeological sensation linked to the legendary city from the epic Mahabharata. Submerged structures dating back nearly 9,000 years testify to a highly advanced civilization that existed long before known historical periods. These ruins feature meticulously planned streets forming a geometric grid, indicating advanced urban planning. Archaeologists have discovered massive stone blocks, estimated to have been used for building and defensive structures. The height of some of these constructions reaches 4 meters, underscoring the engineering prowess of ancient builders. Additionally, finds such as pottery and tools confirm the existence of active trade and cultural exchanges with neighboring regions. Discoveries in Dvaraka challenge traditional notions of urban civilization development chronology, as they suggest that complex societies could have existed in India much earlier than previously thought. This also raises questions about possible connections between myths and reality regarding Dvaraka, making the study of these ruins not only archaeologically significant, but also culturally important. Throughout all excavations in this area, scientists continue to encounter mysteries that require further study and analysis. Findings in Dvaraka include not only architectural elements, but also artifacts that can shed light on the lifestyle and traditions of the inhabitants of this ancient city. Sunken ships serve as unique underwater museums of history, preserving secrets and evidence from long-gone eras. These silent witnesses of the past are submerged in the depths of the sea, where special conditions keep them intact, protecting them from the destructive effects of time and human activity. Archaeologists and historians consider such finds as true treasures, enabling them to reconstruct images of life, trade, and war during different historical periods. Each ship that sank in the ocean tells its own story, whether about great naval battles or peaceful trade routes that connected distant lands. These vessels, covered in layers of marine organisms and resting on the seabed, become artifacts that carry information about shipbuilding technologies, navigation, and even cultural exchanges between peoples. Their study opens new horizons for understanding the historical context in which they existed and allows us to glimpse the lives of those who once sailed the seas on them. Moreover, such underwater discoveries are important objects for preserving maritime heritage, as they remind us of how different civilizations interacted through trade and migration. Each sunken ship can be a key to solving numerous historical mysteries that are still waiting to be uncovered by researchers. For instance, such finds can help in studying the impact of climate change on maritime routes, as well as on the economy and culture of coastal regions. Underwater archaeologists use modern technologies, such as underwater robots and scanners, to thoroughly examine these sunken vessels, revealing their structures and the composition of their materials. During the course of their research, they encounter many questions that these artifacts help to answer, such as what goods were transported on these ships and which cultures coexisted along the trade routes. The sunken Titanic lies at a depth of approximately 13,000 feet on the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, and its condition raises many questions among scientists and researchers. Once a symbol of luxury, the ship now resembles a massive metallic skeleton covered in a layer of silt and marine life. Destruction processes are proceeding at a frightening pace. Bacteria such as Halomonas titanicae are actively corroding the steel structures, turning them into rust. These iron-eating microorganisms are making the Titanic increasingly fragile, and research indicates that its destruction could accelerate in the next few decades. The wreck was first discovered in 1985 when Robert Ballard, a marine researcher, found it after years of searching using modern technologies, including underwater robots and remote control. Since then, numerous expeditions have been conducted, uncovering not only the ship but also many artifacts, including personal items of passengers, dishes, and even parts of the ship's furniture. These findings have attracted the attention of not only scientists but also the general public, sparking debates about how to treat this site. Ethical questions arise regarding the preservation of the Titanic as a maritime memorial. Many believe it should be left undisturbed to preserve the memory of the victims, while others advocate for its study and the retrieval of artifacts to better understand the tragedy. It is also worth noting that each new expedition brings not only scientific data but also new arguments about how to treat this symbol of human fate. On the ocean floor, not only objects but also documents are found that can shed light on the lives of those who were on board, adding another layer to the already complex history of the ship. Laguna Truck, now known as Chuck, in the Pacific Ocean, is one of the most significant underwater graveyards of World War II military equipment. In February 1944, as part of Operation Hailstone, the U.S. Navy conducted a massive aerial attack on the Japanese fleet anchored in this lagoon. As a result, more than 60 Japanese ships, including auxiliary vessels, tankers, and submarines, were sunk. These events were part of a broader U.S. strategy to weaken Japanese naval forces in the Pacific, ultimately contributing to the defeat of Japan. Today, the sunken ships lie at depths ranging from several meters to 30 meters and serve as a unique diving destination, attracting enthusiasts of marine adventures from around the world. Many of these vessels have retained their original shapes and structures, allowing divers to explore not only the ships themselves but also artifacts left on board, such as guns, fuel barrels, and even personal items of sailors. The current state of this underwater museum is astonishing. Corals and marine flora are actively growing on the ships, creating vivid underwater landscapes that evoke the war's past. Laguna Truck has become a significant historical landmark that not only tells the story of war's tragedy but also serves as a reminder of the fragility of human life in the face of conflict. This place has become a point of interest for historians and researchers, as well as a popular destination for diving enthusiasts eager to connect with history and see the remnants of military equipment with their own eyes. The sunken ship, Vasa, became a symbol of Swedish maritime power in the 17th century, but its history is also marked by tragedy. Vasa embarked on its maiden voyage in August 1628 and sank just 100 meters from the shore of Stockholm. The causes of the sinking were linked to the ship's insufficient stability, resulting from its excessive height and poor design. The ship had 2 decks, making its upper part too heavy. After sinking, Vasa remained on the bottom of the Baltic Sea for more than 330 years, submerged in cold, salty waters, which contributed to its preservation as the low temperature and lack of oxygen slowed down the decay of the wood. In 1961, a complex process of raising Vasa began, requiring careful engineering solutions. The ship was lifted using a system of pipes installed on its hull, which filled the ship with air, allowing it to rise slowly. The raising of Vasa was a true engineering feat and was completed in August 1962. After the raising, conservation work began, which included the use of various methods such as treating with preservatives to prevent decay and maintaining a stable humidity to prevent the wood from cracking. These efforts allowed the unique artifact to be preserved, and today it is one of the most famous maritime museums in the world, attracting thousands of tourists eager to see this historic ship with their own eyes. The Antikythera shipwreck occurred around 65 BC off the coast of the Greek island of Antikythera, and its remains were discovered by divers in 1900. The crew likely transported luxurious cargo from the eastern Mediterranean, including statues, coins, and ceramics, indicating a high level of trade in antiquity. The ship contained bronze and marble statues, such as the famous statue of a youth, as well as over 3,000 coins made of gold, silver, and bronze. However, the most remarkable discovery was the Antikythera mechanism, the oldest known analog computer used for predicting astronomical phenomena. This mechanism consisted of numerous gears and wheels, demonstrating the advanced technology of ancient Greeks. Scientists initially struggled to understand the purpose of this device, but its study provided new insights into the level of scientific knowledge and engineering skill in the ancient world. Initially, the mechanism was incorrectly interpreted as a simple navigational device, but further research confirmed its complexity and multifunctionality. It could calculate the positions of the sun and moon and predict eclipses, which was crucial for sailors of the time. Notably, the study of the mechanism continues to this day, as it remains a mystery to researchers. The discovery of the Antikythera ship has given us insight into the high level of technology that existed in the ancient Greek society, challenging previous notions of the primitiveness of ancient civilizations. Ghost ships occupy a unique place in maritime folklore, evoking both awe and a sense of the mystical among sailors. These enigmatic vessels, said to sail without a crew, have become symbols of the unsolved mysteries and dangers lurking in the depths of the ocean. Legends of such ships often arise from fear of the unknown and mysterious forces dwelling in the vast expanses of the sea. Sailors, confronted with storms or endless mists, often lose touch with reality, and in such moments, their imaginations become their only solace. These stories serve not only to explain the inexplicable, but also as a warning that the sea can be merciless. Ghost ships also symbolize loss, as they are often associated with the tragic fates of sailors who have vanished into the boundless waters. These mythical ships are frequently described as possessing a sinister beauty, their masts entwined with seaweed and sails that seem to glow in the night, creating the impression that they emit a ghostly light. In different cultures, these stories vary, but the core idea remains unchanged. A ship sailing without people serves as a reminder of the fragility of human life and the inevitability of fate. Tales of ghostly ships reflect not only the sailors' fear, but also their admiration for the power of nature, which can both create and destroy. Ultimately, these legends have become an integral part of maritime culture, passed down through generations and enriching the mythology of the ocean. The Flying Dutchman is an archetypal ghost ship that has become a symbol of maritime legends and tales. The origin of this legend dates back to the 17th century when Dutch sailors began telling stories about Captain Hendrik van der Decken, who, according to the legend, was cursed to eternal wandering at sea. According to one version, the captain was unable to pass Cape of Good Hope due to a storm and, in turn, made a pact with the devil to continue his journey. As a result, he and his crew were condemned to an endless voyage across the seas. Many sailors claim to have seen this spectral ship, which usually appeared during stormy weather or thick fog. The legend of the Flying Dutchman is often accompanied by accounts of a bright light emitted by the ship and its ability to pass through other vessels without leaving a trace. This mythical story has been reflected in literature, music, and cinema, from Richard Wagner's opera The Flying Dutchman to numerous films, including Pirates of the Caribbean, where this ghostly ship became an integral part of the plot. The Flying Dutchman has become not only a symbol of the elusive but also a metaphor for human aspirations and passions that, like the captain, can lead to ruin. The story of the Mary Celeste begins in 1872, when the ship was found drifting in the Atlantic Ocean without a crew. The vessel was in excellent condition, which surprised the sailors who discovered it. Personal belongings were left on board, including several unused items. But what was most astonishing was a table set for a meal, as if the crew had simply vanished into thin air. Additionally, there was no lifeboat, which cast doubt on the theory of a pirate attack, as such incidents usually leave some signs of resistance. When Mary Celeste was found, it was in perfect working order. The sails were up, and the navigational instruments were functioning. However, there was not a single crew member on board. This mysterious disappearance has given rise to numerous theories, ranging from a pirate attack that could have forced the crew to abandon ship, to more extraordinary suggestions that the crew might have been poisoned by alcohol fumes, as there were alcohol supplies on board. Some researchers also proposed that the crew might have left due to the threat of an explosion caused by overheating alcohol vapors, which could have caused panic. Others believe they might have been victims of natural phenomena, such as whirlpools or severe storms that forced them to abandon the ship. However, none of these theories explain why all the crew's belongings, including their personal items and documents, remained on board. The discovery of Mary Celeste remains one of the most mysterious maritime stories, continuing to captivate researchers and enthusiasts of mysteries to this day. The schooner Carol A. Deering was discovered off the coast of North Carolina in the year 1921 without a crew, making it one of the most mysterious incidents in maritime history. The last known contact with the vessel occurred on January 13th, when it was spotted near Cape Hatteras. The ship was in good condition, but the crew had vanished without a trace, sparking widespread concern and a large-scale investigation by the U.S. government. Upon inspection, it was found that the personal belongings of the sailors, including their documents, remained on board, and the accumulating sea in the cabins had not taken away any significant items. There were no signs of struggle on the deck, and the ship seemed to have been simply abandoned. This gave rise to numerous theories. Some researchers believed the crew might have been victims of a mutiny or piracy, while others linked the disappearance to the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle, known for its unexplained vanishings. The U.S. government conducted an investigation that lasted several months, but despite their efforts, the fate of the sailors remained unknown. Discussing various versions, researchers emphasized the possibility of natural phenomena, such as strong storms or mysterious marine currents that could have affected the fate of the schooner. Remarkably, even decades after this incident, the Carol A. Deering continues to generate interest and debate among historians and enthusiasts of the unexplained. Modern cases of shipwrecks continue to amaze and stir the minds of researchers. For instance, in 2007, a yacht named Scottsville was found adrift off the coast of Australia without a crew and with no apparent signs of damage. This vessel became the subject of discussion and speculation about what happened to its owners. However, many experts attribute such discoveries to massive and natural phenomena, such as strong storms or technical malfunctions, which could have caused the yacht to drift off course. Meanwhile, on the shores of Japan, North Korean ghost ships periodically appear, usually in the form of fishing vessels washed ashore during storms or navigational errors. These incidents also fuel interest in theories about mysterious disappearances, but in most cases, they are explained by real causes, such as the economic situation in North Korea, where fishermen might abandon their vessels to avoid problems with authorities or lack of resources. Discussing such findings, it is important to note the contrast between mystical interpretations, which attribute disappearances to myths about ghosts and almost supernatural forces, and rational explanations based on natural factors and human errors. This underscores that reality is often much more mundane and less romantic than it might initially appear. For example, in 2006, a drifting fishing trawler was found on one of the Japanese islands. Investigators later determined that the crew had abandoned the vessel due to problems with food and fuel supplies. No mystery, just harsh reality. Marine monsters occupy a special place in world culture, serving as a reflection of fear and awe before the boundless depths of the ocean. For millennia, humanity has created myths and legends, attempting to explain the mysterious phenomena that arise in the ocean's abyss. These depths, filled with unexplored mysteries, evoke both fear and a desire for exploration in people. From ancient Greek tales of gigantic monsters to modern stories of enigmatic creatures inhabiting the most remote corners of the seas, the image of the marine monster has become a metaphor for our ignorance. Research shows that many fears associated with the sea are linked to its immense power and unpredictability. Hurricanes, storms, and tsunamis underscore that nature can be both beautiful and deadly. People have always sought explanations for their fears, and marine monsters have become a convenient symbol for describing the unknown, giving rise to both folklore stories and scientific theories. In today's society, despite scientific advances, interest in marine myths does not wane. New discoveries in the ocean's depths spawn new mysteries and speculations about the creatures that may inhabit these dark waters. Cryptozoology, the science of undiscovered species, continues to attract the attention of adventure enthusiasts and researchers eager to prove the existence of those very creatures that the ancients spoke of. The deep seas remain a mystery that may never be fully unraveled. Kraken is an archetypal sea monster originating from Scandinavian legends, where it was described as a giant squid capable of dragging ships to the bottom of the ocean. The first mentions of it appeared in the 18th century when sailors recounted their encounters with this terrifying creature, instilling fear and awe in all who dared to venture into the vast seas. Over time, the image of Kraken evolved. It began to be seen not just as a myth, but as a potentially real creature, a giant squid. Scientific research conducted in the 19th century revealed the existence of large squids, which reinforced the myth of Kraken. This interpretation led to its popularization in literature, especially in Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, where Kraken appears as a monster threatening Captain Nemo's crew. Verne described it as a powerful and terrifying creature capable of flipping a ship with a single tentacle. In the 20th and 21st centuries, Kraken became a symbol of maritime fears, its image being actively used in cinema and video games. Films like Pirates of the Caribbean depicted Kraken as a giant monster capable of destroying entire fleets, further solidifying its status in popular culture. Additionally, artists and illustrators created numerous images of Kraken, reflecting both its horrifying appearance and its mythological nature. This image continues to evoke interest and fear, remaining an integral part of our perception of the ocean as a place filled with mysteries and wonders. Kraken has become not only a subject of scientific research but also a cultural phenomenon, immersing us in the world of myths and legends. The Loch Ness Monster, more commonly known as Nessie, is undoubtedly the most famous cryptid of modern times, having gained worldwide popularity. The first reports of strange creatures in Loch Ness date back to the 6th century when St. Columba is said to have encountered a great beast that attacked one of his companions. However, the real sensation began in the early 20th century when, in 1933, the famous surgeon's photograph was published. This image, which many identified as the Loch Ness Monster, quickly spread around the world and became a symbol of the mysterious inhabitants of the depths. Following this, numerous expeditions were organized to explore the lake using sonar and underwater cameras. In 1981, researchers even conducted a large-scale expedition with specialized underwater equipment. But despite numerous attempts, no definitive evidence of the monster's existence was found. Scientific theories about the nature of the sightings range from explanations involving large eels to hypotheses about plesiosaurs that may have survived from the dinosaur era. Although these theories remain unproven, they continue to fuel interest in Loch Ness. The cultural significance of Nessie for Scotland is immense. It has become a symbol of the region, attracting tourists from around the world, and has even entered local legends and folklore, becoming part of Scottish identity. The perception of the Loch Ness Monster as a mysterious and mythical creature continues to inspire artists, writers, and researchers, while the lake remains the center of debates and discussions. Testimonies of sailors observing sea serpents in the 18th and 19th centuries present an intriguing mix of facts and myths. One of the most famous incidents occurred in 1848 when the captain of HMS Daedalus, sailing near St. Lucia, described an encounter with a long, serpent-like creature that was approximately 30 meters long and floating on the surface of the water. His ship's log contains a detailed description, noting that the creature had wide fins and smooth skin. This report sparked great interest, and many researchers have tried to determine what it could have been. Some believed that sailors might have seen rare fish species like giant eels or even stellar sea cows, which were on the brink of extinction. Others suggested that optical illusions caused by sea mist could have distorted the perception of objects on the horizon. For instance, in 1820, sailors on the ship Ernesto reported seeing 2-meter-long serpent-like creatures that turned out to be long rays emerging from the water. While some testimonies remain mysterious, others have been debunked through scientific research and analysis. For example, in 1863, an encounter with a sea serpent in the vicinity of New Zealand was later explained as a group of sea lions playing on the water's surface. These sailors' accounts, interwoven with their fears and expectations, have created a rich mythology around sea serpents that continues to this day. For instance, in 1891, the crew of a whaling ship named Adelaide in the Atlantic Ocean described an encounter with a giant creature with a crocodile-like head and a long, snake-like body. These observations, despite often being questioned, highlight how human imagination can shape facts into myths. The discussion of these cases continues, and many researchers today still seek rational explanations for such encounters, indicating a persistent interest in the mysteries and myths of the sea. In 1938, fishermen off the coast of southern Africa caught an unusual fish that soon became the center of a scientific revolution. This was a coelacanth, a species thought to have gone extinct over 65 million years ago. The scientific community was stunned. Coelacanth were known only from fossils, and their existence was considered a page in the history of evolution. The discovery of the coelacanth was a true event, sparking heated debates among scientists, as this fish represented a living fossil, retaining features characteristic of the ancestors of all land vertebrates. The uniqueness of this find lay not only in its age, but also in the fact that coelacanth possessed anatomical features that provided insights into the evolution of animals. Their fin-like limbs suggested how fish could adapt to life on land. The discovery of the coelacanth also raised questions about how many more undiscovered species might be hidden in the depths of the oceans, as science still has many uncharted areas. Scientists began to explore the ocean depths more actively, realizing that they might harbor organisms that had not yet been discovered. This case became a symbol of how nature can surprise even the most experienced researchers. Soon after this discovery, coelacanth attracted media attention and became stars of scientific publications and documentaries, further fueling interest in marine biology and ecology. The sounds of the ocean present a mysterious symphony that captivates and intrigues. The water gently lapping at the surface creates a rhythmic noise, while the depths resonate with sounds that cannot be replicated on land. The calls of whales, echoing across the vast expanses of the ocean, are just a small part of this sonic landscape. These giants of the seas communicate over vast distances using low frequencies that can penetrate water, unlike any other sound. However, beyond these familiar sounds, there exist many unrecognized acoustic phenomena. Hydrophones placed around the world capture mysterious noises whose origins remain unknown. These recordings spark debate and theories among scientists, ranging from theories about underwater volcanoes to possible encounters with unknown creatures. Each new discovery in this field adds a new note to the overall symphony of the ocean, reminding us that a large part of the underwater world remains unexplored. Studies of the ocean's soundscapes open doors to uncharted territories, where each wave and every sound can tell its own story. The sound of Bard, an inexplicable acoustic phenomenon recorded in 1997 that baffled scientists with its unique characteristics. This sound has an extraordinarily low frequency of around 18 Hz and a massive amplitude, making it audible over vast distances. Geographically, the sound was recorded in the southern part of the Pacific Ocean, approximately 1,200 kilometers from the coast of South America. Its peculiarities have given rise to numerous theories about its possible sources. One of the most popular hypotheses suggests that the sound may originate from an unknown type of whale that produces such unusual sounds for communication or as part of its life processes. However, another version proposes that the sound could be linked to geological processes such as underwater eruptions or tectonic plate movements. Scientists also consider the possibility that the sound of barred may be the result of interactions between ocean currents and underwater formations. Despite numerous studies, the exact nature of this acoustic phenomenon remains a mystery, and each new analysis brings more questions than answers. 8 years later, in 2005, the sound attracted attention again when researchers attempted to determine its origin using underwater microphones placed at various depths. These studies revealed that the sound has certain repetitions, indicating that it may be associated with cyclical processes in the ocean. The sound of barred has become a symbol of how little we understand about the underwater world and continues to intrigue scientists and enthusiasts of marine mysteries. Julia's whistle was recorded by hydrophones in the Pacific Ocean in 2009 and became one of the most mysterious sounds ever detected in oceanic depths. This sound differs from known biological sources such as whale songs or dolphin sounds in its unique structure and acoustic characteristics. The whistle features clearly defined harmonic notes and a duration of around 30 seconds, making it easily distinguishable among other underwater sounds. The periodicity of the whistle is approximately 20 minutes, which also raises questions among researchers. Some scientists suggest that this sound may be related to the movement of glaciers or the interaction of underwater tectonic plates, but the exact origin remains unclear. Other theories propose the existence of unknown marine animals or even sounds caused by human activity, although none of these versions have been definitively confirmed. Notably, Julia's whistle defies easy explanation from an acoustic perspective, making it a subject of active research and discussion among oceanographers and sound recording specialists. Some even compare it to other mysterious sounds, such as the bloop, but the uniqueness of Julia's whistle lies in its regularity and clarity, making it one of the most intriguing underwater phenomena. There are even speculations that the whistle could serve as an indicator of changes in oceanic ecosystems, adding another layer of mystery to this phenomenon. In the Indian Ocean in 1997, an enigmatic sound known as the uplift signal was recorded. This sound caught the attention of scientists due to its unusual characteristics. It manifested as a sharp increase in frequency, reaching a peak in the range of 18 to 30 Hz. The signal lasted for about 2 minutes and was detected in an area where continental shelves intersect. Geographically, its sources were located at a depth of approximately 3 kilometers, making its origin even more intriguing. Several theories exist regarding its nature. One of the most popular hypotheses links the uplift signal to seismic activity, suggesting that it could be a result of underwater earthquakes or faults. However, another intriguing theory proposes that the sound could originate from unknown biological sources, possibly related to deep-sea creatures that have not yet been studied. Some scientists even suggest that the sound might be produced by large marine mammals, such as sperm whales or other cetaceans that communicate at great depths. Other researchers consider the possibility that it is a manifestation of underwater volcanic activity. Despite numerous speculations, the exact origin of the uplift signal remains a mystery. Biosonar communication in humpback whales is a remarkable phenomenon where these giant mammals use complex songs for communication. These melodies can last from several minutes to half an hour and consist of a variety of sounds, including trills, hisses, and low rumbles. Interestingly, humpback whales have regional dialects. Groups of whales from different parts of the ocean may have their own unique melodies, indicating a complex social structure and exchange of cultural information among them. The evolution of these songs is also impressive. Over time, melodies change, and humpback whale songs can evolve in response to changes in their environment and interactions with other groups. The range of sound propagation underwater can reach several hundred kilometers, allowing whales to communicate over long distances. This quality of sound combined with low frequencies makes their vocalizations particularly effective for information transfer. There are different theories about the functional significance of these songs. They may be used in mating rituals to attract partners, as well as to convey information about the location of food or danger. Research shows that in some cases, humpback whale songs can serve to maintain social bonds between dispersed groups. For example, male humpback whales use melodies to attract females, demonstrating their physical prowess and genetic strength. It is important to note that these vocalizations can not only attract attention but also serve as a warning about the presence of predators such as orcas. Research shows that humpback whale songs can change from year to year, adapting to new conditions and influences from the surrounding environment. These sound changes can be the result of both cultural adaptation and individual experience within the social environment. Deep-sea anomalies represent mysterious phenomena that have captivated the attention of scientists and researchers for many years. These anomalies are often detected by modern instruments capable of identifying unusual sound waves, temperature changes, and even strange movements of underwater objects. Despite numerous observations, a definitive explanation for these phenomena has not been found. Some researchers suggest that these anomalies may be linked to previously undiscovered natural processes occurring at great depths, while others believe they could be the result of human activity, such as impacts on the ocean's ecosystem. Water, as we know it, behaves differently at great depths, and pressure can create unique conditions that can give rise to anomalies. For instance, sound waves passing through layers of water can be distorted, creating effects that are difficult to explain. Furthermore, the use of underwater vehicles and various sensors only increases the number of recorded anomalies, but does not help explain their nature. This leads to the fact that each new report on deep-sea anomalies sparks interest and debate within the scientific community, encouraging new research and hypotheses. Not all anomalies can be explained by existing scientific theories, creating an atmosphere of genuine scientific mystery, where each researcher strives to unravel the secrets of the deep ocean. While some anomalies may turn out to be simple measurement errors or natural phenomena, others may indicate something much more significant that we are currently unable to comprehend. For example, anomalies could point to new forms of life or previously unknown geological structures, further fueling interest in these enigmatic manifestations. Scientific research in this field continues, and new technologies are only enhancing the possibilities for detecting and studying these unusual phenomena. It is important to note that deep-sea anomalies remain one of the most intriguing and least understood topics, prompting us to question what else the underwater world may be hiding. The Baltic anomaly, discovered on the floor of the Baltic Sea in 2011, is a mysterious circular object with a diameter of approximately 100 meters, which at first glance resembles the Death Star from Star Wars. Its surface is marked with strange traces that lead to the object, raising numerous questions about how and why they appeared. These traces appear as if something heavy moved across the seabed, leaving clear lines that contrast with the surrounding sandy bottom. However, this is not the only thing that causes surprise. As one approaches the anomaly, there are anomalies in the operation of electrical equipment. For example, sonars and other instruments begin to behave strangely, which has sparked interest among both scientists and conspiracy theorists. Some researchers claim that this is a natural geological object, possibly formed as a result of volcanic activity or glacial processes, while others insist on its artificial origin, suggesting it could be the remains of an unknown ship or even an extraterrestrial artifact. These conflicting opinions have sparked a lively debate in the scientific community, with proponents of natural origins citing geological research, while others point to the existence of ancient civilizations that could have built such structures. In this context, the Baltic anomaly has become not only an object of scientific interest, but also a symbol of human curiosity in unraveling the mysteries of the past, opening new horizons for research and discussion. The Cuban underwater pyramid, discovered in 2001 off the coast of Cuba using deep-sea sonars, is a mysterious structure that attracts the attention of both researchers and enthusiasts of mysteries. Its geometrically precise forms resemble urban planning, raising questions about whether they could have been created by humans. The structure lies at a depth of approximately 700 meters, making access to it extremely challenging. If these formations are indeed artificial, their age could reach thousands of years, opening the door to numerous questions about civilizations that may have inhabited this region. However, the political situation around Cuba adds additional difficulties to research. Obtaining permits for deep-sea expeditions is often complicated, and access to information about findings may be restricted. Scientific debates about the nature of these structures are ongoing, with some experts suggesting they could be ruins of an ancient city, while others lean towards a natural origin explanation. In any case, this underwater object continues to be a subject of debate and research, actively fueling interest in the history and culture of the region. Japanese underwater monuments off the island of Yonaguni have sparked much debate among scientists and researchers. Discovered in the 1990s, these structures are massive stone formations with right angles and stepped shapes, suggesting human intervention. Some researchers point to the presence of what appear to be columns and platforms reminiscent of ancient architectural styles. For instance, on one of the platforms, there is something resembling a staircase leading to an upper level, reminiscent of megalithic structures. Geologists, however, argue that these formations are the result of natural sandstone erosion that occurred around 30,000 years ago. They claim that the landscape features and angles were formed by ocean currents and seismic activity, making their origin purely natural. Archaeologists, however, disagree with this view and propose that the monuments could be remnants of an ancient civilization that existed here 10,000 to 12,000 years ago, when sea levels were significantly lower. They point out that if these structures were indeed created by humans, it would confirm the existence of a complex society on this island in prehistory. Researchers emphasize that these monuments contain numerous details that are difficult to explain from a geological perspective. For example, the angles in certain parts appear too precise to be the result of random erosion. A significant argument for artificial origin is the presence of grooves and carvings that resemble stone toolwork. This raises questions about how such complex structures could have formed naturally if they were not created by ancient people. Comparing these underwater monuments with other well-known megalithic structures, such as Stonehenge or the pyramids in Egypt, highlights the possibility of hidden civilizations about which we know nothing. Some researchers even suggest that these underwater monuments may be connected to myths about lost civilizations like Atlantis, further adding to the mystery surrounding Yonaguni. Each of these arguments contributes to ongoing debates about the true nature of these enigmatic structures and their genuine origin. Doggerland, the submerged Mesolithic land in the North Sea, was known as the Dogger Bank. It served as a land bridge connecting Britain and continental Europe until around 6,500 years ago. Geological research indicates that this area was inhabited by humans and animals, as evidenced by the discovery of tools and animal remains in fishing nets retrieved from the seabed. Scientists have reconstructed the landscape and climate of Doggerland using geological and paleobotanical data, revealing that it was a fertile land with forests and water bodies, home to animals like mammoths, deer, and even Neanderthals. The gradual submersion occurred due to the rise in sea level following the last ice age, as global temperatures increased and glaciers began to melt. This process took several thousand years, and by around 2000 BCE, most of Doggerland was underwater, leaving only small elevations that later became the islands known today as the Channel Islands and Eastern England. Numerous artifacts, such as stone tools and plant remains, have been found on the seabed of the North Sea, indicating that this land was a significant part of the Mesolithic landscape. Studies suggest that groups of hunter-gatherers may have lived on Doggerland, using it as a source of food and resources. These findings provide insight into how humans adapted to changing environmental conditions and how they interacted with the animal world. By the end of the Mesolithic period, Doggerland had disappeared, leaving behind only myths and legends of the submerged land. On the ocean floor, there exist mysterious formations known as oceanic trenches and pits. These natural phenomena are characterized by sudden and abrupt depressions that can extend tens or even hundreds of meters deep. Their formations arouse both scientific curiosity and mystical awe, as they are shrouded in numerous mysteries and legends. Scientists study these trenches to understand their origins and impact on ecosystems, yet despite modern technologies, many aspects of these formations remain unexplained. Some theories suggest that such pits are formed through geological processes such as tectonic plate movements or erosion, while others attribute them to more exotic phenomena, such as underwater volcanoes or even meteorite impacts. These places attract not only researchers but also adventurers eager to unravel their mysteries. Trenches often become the subjects of myths, where people tell tales of mysterious creatures that may inhabit their depths and lost treasures hidden in dark waters. Their sizes and shapes can vary from small craters to gigantic trenches capable of swallowing entire ships. Remarkably, even with all modern technologies and deep-sea research, oceanic trenches continue to be places filled with riddles and unanswered questions, further fueling interest in them. Scientific expeditions aimed at studying these formations often encounter unpredictable conditions, making each mission unique and thrilling. Ultimately, oceanic trenches represent not only geological formations but also a reflection of our own desire to learn more about what lies beneath the surface of the water. The Great Blue Hole off the coast of Belize is a submerged limestone sinkhole that attracts both tourists and scientists. It measures 318 meters in diameter and is 124 meters deep. The hole stands out due to its unique dark blue color, which contrasts with the vibrant turquoise waters surrounding it. This phenomenon is caused by different layers of water with varying oxygen content and temperatures. At depth, a variety of marine creatures, including sharks, rays, and numerous fish species, have adapted to these unique conditions. The Great Blue Hole was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2000, highlighting its significance not only as a natural wonder but also as a crucial site for studying coral reef ecosystems. For divers, it is considered a true paradise, as they can enjoy breathtaking underwater landscapes and explore the multi-layered water stratification that creates unique living conditions for marine life. Each level of the hole represents a separate ecosystem with significantly different living conditions. For instance, the upper layers are home to vibrant corals and tropical fish, while the deeper levels host rare species such as blacktip reef sharks and sea turtles. Scientific research indicates that this sinkhole is also a critical indicator of climate change, as its ecosystem is sensitive to changes in water temperature and oxygen levels, making it a subject of intense study by ecologists and researchers. Blue Hole of Dahab, located on the coast of Egypt in the Red Sea, is renowned not only for its beauty but also for its ominous reputation as the killer hole. This underwater structure attracts divers from around the world, but many do not return. The depth of the hole exceeds 100 meters, but the most dangerous area is an arch located between 52 and 55 meters deep. This arch is an underwater passage connecting the open sea with the inner part of the hole, and it is here that tragedies occur. Dangerous underwater currents can unexpectedly pull divers deep, and the issue of nitrogen narcosis exacerbates the situation, leading to disorientation and the inability to make rational decisions. Many divers who underestimate the complexity and danger of the dive encounter serious problems, as evidenced by the high mortality rate in this area. Diving into the Blue Hole requires the highest level of qualification and experience, as well as meticulous preparation. Without the correct technique and knowledge of potential risks, the chances of a successful return to the surface are significantly reduced. Over time, the Blue Hole has become not only a subject of research but also a kind of monument, reminding us that nature, despite its beauty, can be extremely dangerous. The underwater caves of Yucatan, known as cenotes, are a unique combination of nature and the culture of the Maya civilization. These natural formations emerged as a result of the collapse of limestone vaults over underground rivers, creating extensive cave systems with crystal-clear water. Cenotes vary in size and shape, from small circular pits to enormous underground chambers, and their complex tunnel systems stretch for hundreds of kilometers. Many of these tunnels are interconnected, forming intricate labyrinths that once served as transportation routes for the ancient Maya. The water in cenotes has remarkable clarity, allowing one to see the bottom and the amazing shapes of underwater stalactites and stalagmites. Additionally, archaeological excavations at the bottom of cenotes often uncover sacrifices left by the Maya in these sacred places. The ancient inhabitants believed that cenotes were portals to the underworld and used them for rituals related to the worship of gods and appeasing spirits. Human remains and artifacts such as ceramics and tools have been found at the bottom of some cenotes, confirming their significance as places of sacrifice. Research shows that cenotes not only provided access to fresh water, but also played a crucial role in the religious and cultural practices of the Maya, creating a connection between the world of the living and the dead. The cenotes of Yucatan remain an important subject of study, as they hold many secrets and stories related to one of the most mysterious ancient civilizations. The underwater cave system of Sac-Acton on the Yucatan Peninsula is considered the longest flooded cave system in the world, stretching over 350 kilometers. This unique system formed as a result of the dissolution of limestone, leading to the creation of impressive stalactites and stalagmites that can still be seen today. These formations emerged during a dry period when the water level was significantly lower than it is now, and they have witnessed geological changes over thousands of years. The caves of Sac-Acton have yielded the remains of ancient animals and humans, with some dating back over 12,000 years. One of the most significant discoveries is the skeleton of Naya, a girl from the Paleolithic era, found in the year 2000 and one of the oldest skeletons found in America. These finds help researchers better understand not only the ecosystem of that time, but also the lifestyle of the first people on these lands. The caves also served an important ritual function for the ancient Maya, who used them in their ceremonies, underscoring their cultural significance. Sac-Acton is not just a geological object, but a true laboratory for archaeologists and historians, who strive to reconstruct the picture of life among prehistoric people and their relationships with the surrounding nature. Deep-sea research is an exciting field where human curiosity and engineering ingenuity meet the challenges posed by the ocean. Throughout history, humanity has sought to explore the unknown depths, a process that demands not only courage but also advanced technologies. The underwater world harbors immense mysteries that cannot be unraveled without specialized tools and equipment. Under the immense pressure, darkness, and cold, researchers develop new methods and technologies to penetrate these inaccessible zones. For instance, various approaches are used to study the ocean floor and its ecosystems, aiming to minimize environmental impact and ensure the safety of researchers. These technologies are becoming increasingly sophisticated, enabling humans to overcome physical limitations and uncover new horizons in understanding marine ecosystems. The desire to unravel the mysteries of the ocean and its inhabitants drives scientists to develop innovative solutions, including the creation of autonomous underwater vehicles that can operate in conditions where humans cannot stay for extended periods. Research at great depths not only expands our knowledge of the biological diversity of oceans, but also helps us understand how these ecosystems influence global processes such as climate change and ocean current circulation. It is important to note that such research requires tremendous effort, and each discovery is the result of the collective work of teams of scientists, engineers, and technicians who together overcome the challenges posed by the deep-sea environment. These efforts lead us to view the ocean not as an endless abyss, but as a complex ecosystem teeming with life and interactions that still need to be studied. In this context, deep-sea research becomes not just a technical challenge, but a true scientific adventure, where each new discovery is a step toward understanding our planet and its past. The bathyscaphe Trieste became a symbol of deep-sea research due to its historic dive in 1960, when Jacques Picard and Don Walsh reached the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the deepest point on Earth. The craft's design was impressive. It featured a robust spherical capsule made of special steel capable of withstanding immense pressure at depths exceeding 10,000 meters. The float, filled with gasoline, provided the necessary buoyancy and allowed the bathyscaphe to descend and ascend smoothly. During the 9-hour dive, the crew faced numerous technical challenges, including the need to maintain life support in a confined space and ensure the stability of the craft. At the bottom, they unexpectedly encountered a halibut, which was not only a scientific discovery, but also a symbol of how little humanity knows about deep-sea ecosystems. This expedition not only expanded our knowledge of the oceans, but also inspired future generations of researchers, demonstrating that even the most inaccessible corners of the planet can be explored. Trieste proved that human spirit and the desire for exploration can overcome any obstacles. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench, numerous samples and data were collected, which continue to be used in scientific research to this day. The deep-sea vehicle Mira is a remarkable achievement of Russian engineering, designed for exploring the depths of the ocean. This submersible can dive to a maximum depth of 6,000 meters, allowing it to investigate the most inaccessible parts of the world ocean. Mira is equipped with special life support systems that maintain the crew's life during long dives. Inside the vehicle, there are oxygen tanks and systems for removing carbon dioxide, enabling the crew to stay inside without external supplies for several days. The manipulators installed on Mira can perform various tasks, such as collecting soil samples and studying marine organisms. Mira also houses modern scientific equipment, including high-resolution video cameras and devices for analyzing the chemical composition of water. The vehicle gained fame through its participation in several significant expeditions, including the investigation of the wreck of the Titanic in 1991, where unique photos were taken and data on the ship's condition were collected. In addition, Mira was used to study hydrothermal sources, providing scientists with the opportunity to study ecosystems that exist under high temperature and pressure conditions. Notably, Mira also participated in the filming of James Cameron's cult film Titanic, where it was used to create realistic underwater scenes. The vehicle has become a symbol of Russian deep-sea research and is actively used for scientific missions, filling gaps in our knowledge about the ocean depths. Modern deep-sea drones and autonomous underwater vehicles have become true breakthroughs in oceanic research. They offer several advantages over manned vessels: no risk to human life, the ability to conduct long missions, and more compact sizes. For instance, the seabed drone can dive to depths of up to 6,000 meters and operate autonomously for up to 2 weeks, allowing for detailed research in conditions inaccessible to humans. Leading models like Remus and Bluefin 21 are equipped with advanced navigation systems that combine GPS, inertial navigation systems, and sonars for precise underwater location tracking. Power for these devices is often provided by lithium-ion batteries, which ensure long operating times and quick recharging. Data collection systems can include hydrophones, high-resolution cameras, and various sensors that record physical and chemical water parameters. Additionally, modern drones can transmit information to the surface in real time, significantly accelerating the analysis of collected data. Their role in mapping the ocean floor is invaluable. Drones can create three-dimensional models of the seabed, exploring hard-to-reach areas such as underwater volcanoes or sunken ships. For example, the Hugin drone was used to map underwater structures in the northern Arctic Ocean, where traditional research methods were practically impossible. The Nekton project is an ambitious scientific initiative aimed at exploring the depths of the Indian Ocean, one of the least studied oceans on Earth. This mission employs state-of-the-art submersibles, such as the Nekton Cyrus, capable of diving to depths exceeding 400 meters. These submersibles enable researchers to conduct prolonged observations and collect samples in environments previously inaccessible to scientists. Furthermore, the project has pioneered underwater broadcasting. For the first time, live broadcasts were organized from depths over 200 meters, allowing a wide audience to witness the underwater world in real time. During the course of their research, the project team discovered numerous new marine species, including rare jellyfish and fish species that were previously unknown to science. These discoveries not only expanded our understanding of the biodiversity of the Indian Ocean, but also underscored the importance of preserving these unique ecosystems. Additionally, researchers have mapped previously unexplored areas of the ocean floor around the Seychelles and Maldives, resulting in the creation of precise maps of the seabed and the identification of potential zones for future research. The Nekton investigations open up new horizons in the study of oceanic ecosystems and emphasize the need for careful management of our water resources. Underwater archaeology is a relatively young science that focuses on studying and preserving submerged cultural heritage. Archaeologists and historians working in this field face unique challenges. They dive into complex and often dangerous marine environments, where water pressure and limited visibility are constant companions to their research. To succeed, underwater archaeologists develop specialized methods and technologies that help them locate, document, and analyze artifacts on the ocean and sea floors. The use of underwater robots and remotely operated vehicles allows researchers to reach areas inaccessible in traditional conditions. These devices are equipped with high-sensitivity cameras and manipulators that help extract objects and transmit information to the surface. Modern scanning methods, such as sonar, create detailed maps of the seabed, enabling archaeologists to plan their expeditions in advance. Additionally, underwater archaeology requires deep knowledge of oceanography, history, and materials science, as each discovered object can reveal insights into the lives of people who once lived along the shores of ancient civilizations. For example, the study of sunken ships can provide insights into trade routes and cultural exchanges between different peoples. Each new project is not just a job, but a real adventure filled with surprises and discoveries, where each found artifact can be a key to unraveling historical mysteries. Underwater archaeologists also collaborate closely with ecologists to ensure the preservation of the underwater environment, allowing them to not only research but also protect oceanic ecosystems from human impact. Dating underwater archaeological finds requires a special approach that takes into account the conditions of the marine environment. Radiocarbon analysis is used to determine the age of organic materials, such as wood and textiles found on the ocean floor. This method allows the age of finds that were buried or submerged in the last 40,000 years to be established. However, for older objects such as ships, dendrochronology becomes crucial. This method is based on the analysis of annual tree rings. If the wood has been preserved well, researchers can accurately determine the ship's construction date by comparing the data with existing tree growth chronologies. Ceramics and coins found on sunken ships also play a significant role in dating, as their styles and materials can indicate specific historical periods. Nevertheless, dating underwater objects is complicated by the unique characteristics of the marine environment. Saltwater, pressure, and biological factors can distort the temporal framework. To overcome these distortions, archaeologists use a multidisciplinary approach, combining radiocarbon analysis results with historical data and results from other methods, such as thermoluminescence analysis, which allows dating of ceramic artifacts in sand. This enables the creation of a more accurate temporal scale necessary for understanding the historical context of the finds. For example, on a sunken ship, one can find both coins and ceramic fragments that help establish the date of its construction and subsequent sinking. One of the most challenging stages in archaeological work is the conservation of artifacts retrieved from the seabed. For the protection of wooden elements, such as parts of a ship, polyethylene glycol is used. This chemical composition penetrates the pores of the wood, replacing moisture and preventing deformation and decay. The stabilization process can take a long time, sometimes up to several years, especially when dealing with large volumes of material, as in the case of the Vasa ship, which was raised from the water in 1988 and requires extensive processing. Metallic objects extracted from the seabed undergo electrolytic treatment. In this process, artifacts are placed in a special solution with an electric current, which helps remove corrosion and restore the original appearance of the metal. This method can also take many months, as each detail requires individual attention. Ceramic and organic materials require special conservation methods. Ceramics are often cleaned of salt residues and contaminants, and then coated with protective varnishes to preserve their structure. Organic materials, such as textiles or leather, are treated with special solutions that prevent decomposition. These technologies require a high level of control and constant monitoring, as any slight deviation can lead to the loss of historical value of the items. Ultimately, the conservation of artifacts is a long and laborious process that can take decades, but it is essential for preserving cultural heritage. Legal aspects of underwater archaeology and the protection of submerged cultural heritage are important and often contentious topics. In 2001, UNESCO adopted the Convention on the Protection of the Underwater Cultural Heritage, aimed at safeguarding archaeological objects that have sunk in seas and oceans. The document emphasizes that states have sovereign rights over submerged objects in their territorial waters and obliges them to protect this heritage from illegal removal and destruction. However, in practice, this often encounters the problem of treasure hunters who use modern technologies to search for and retrieve valuable artifacts. disregarding their archaeological significance. Commercial salvage of sunken artifacts raises serious ethical dilemmas. On one hand, raising artifacts can generate significant profits, but on the other, it disrupts the original context of their placement, posing a threat to scientific research. For example, the raising of the Titanic's remains sparked widespread debate about whether to continue retrieving items or leave them in the ocean as a memorial. These conflicts underscore the need for strict adherence to international norms and ethical standards in underwater archaeology to preserve cultural heritage for future generations. A crucial aspect remains the question of how states can ensure the protection of their waters from illegal operations, which requires the creation of effective legal mechanisms and international cooperation. At the same time, to preserve archaeological objects, it is essential to balance their commercial value with their scientific significance. Using photogrammetry and three-dimensional modeling in underwater archaeology has been a true breakthrough, enabling researchers to create highly detailed digital models of submerged objects. This process begins with archaeologists taking thousands of photographs of the object from various angles. Software then processes these images to create precise three-dimensional models that capture not only the shape but also the texture of the objects. One of the main advantages of this technology is its non-invasiveness. Researchers can gather information about submerged artifacts without damaging them. Additionally, photogrammetry offers remarkable accuracy, allowing for the capture of minute details that might be missed with traditional research methods. Preserving context is another crucial aspect, as the models can include information about the relative positions of objects, which aids in further analyses. Virtual museums created from these models open up new horizons for a wide audience, allowing people who cannot dive to explore underwater heritage. These digital copies can also be used for scientific analysis, enabling researchers to conduct detailed studies without the need for repeated dives and the risk of damaging objects. With modern technologies, underwater archaeology becomes more accessible and efficient. Oceanic anomalies and inexplicable phenomena have always sparked both interest and fear in humanity. The depths of the oceans conceal numerous mysteries that remain beyond our comprehension. There are zones where, seemingly, ordinary physical laws cease to apply, giving rise to a multitude of theories, from scientific to the most fantastic. The scientific community has repeatedly encountered mysterious incidents that challenge our understanding of nature and the world around us. Reports of unusual sounds, sudden disappearances of ships, or even strange light phenomena at sea raise questions about what else might be hidden in the depths. Each new discovery from the ocean's abyss spawns new myths and hypotheses, sometimes even outpacing scientific advances. Scientists studying ocean currents and the seabed encounter inexplicable structures and anomalies that do not fit into our usual frameworks of knowledge. Some of these objects may be the result of natural processes, while others might hint at the remnants of ancient civilizations or something entirely different. Mysterious traces on the seabed, unusual geological formations, and anomalous changes in ocean ecosystems become subjects of debate and contention among researchers. This creates an atmosphere of scientific enigma, where each discovery can serve as a starting point for new research or a catalyst for heated debates. In these areas, we often find ourselves at the boundary between proven facts and unconfirmed hypotheses, leading to an ongoing search for answers to questions that may never be fully resolved. While some assert that these anomalies can be explained scientifically, others maintain that they represent a realm where scientific knowledge encounters the unknown. Research continues, and each new discovery can alter our understanding of the oceans and what they conceal. For instance, in 2003, scientists recorded strange sounds emanating from the depths of the Pacific Ocean. In 1997, hydrophones of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, of the United States recorded unusual sounds, known as bloop. These sounds possess unique characteristics. Their power is thousands of times greater than the sound produced by a blue whale, making them some of the loudest sounds ever recorded in the oceans. Geographically, bloop was detected in the southern part of the Pacific Ocean, in an area where the depth reaches several kilometers. The sounds recurred periodically, suggesting that they are not random but have a systematic nature. Scientific theories about the origin of bloop range from the hypothesis of unknown marine animals capable of producing such powerful sounds to more scientific explanations related to ice processes, where massive ice masses break apart and create sharp sound waves. Some researchers also link the origin of bloop to seismic activity, suggesting that underwater earthquakes may generate sound waves that are detected by hydrophones. Nevertheless, despite numerous theories, the exact origin of bloop remains a mystery and has not been definitively explained. 8 years later, in 2005, NOAA published a report stating that the sounds likely originate from glaciers, adding new layers to the already complex picture. The phenomenon known as Milky Sea is a mysterious milky white glow observed by sailors for centuries and intriguing both scientists and nature enthusiasts. Witnesses describe this glow as bright and expansive, covering areas of hundreds of square kilometers. It is often noticed at night, when the water surface appears as a continuous luminous veil, creating a mesmerizing sight. Scientifically, this phenomenon is linked to bioluminescence produced by microscopic organisms such as bacteria and water-dwelling plankton. Under stressful conditions like temperature changes or water movement, these organisms begin to glow, creating an effect that can be perceived as milk on the ocean surface. In recent years, satellite observations have confirmed the presence of this phenomenon in various regions, including the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, where it is most frequently observed during phytoplankton blooms. Scientists note that Milky Sea is associated with specific ecological conditions such as high water temperature and the presence of nutrients that promote the growth of bioluminescent organisms. The creation of this unique picture requires a combination of factors, making Milky Sea an interesting subject for further study. In the 18th century, sailors already recorded similar light effects, but only modern technologies have allowed for a deeper understanding of this phenomenon. Satellites equipped with special sensors can now detect and analyze such light bursts, enabling scientists to better study their connection to climate changes and the health of ecosystems. During the Cold War, submarines detected mysterious objects known as quakers. These objects emitted signals with high frequencies and unique characteristics. The Quaker signals could move at speeds up to 200 knots, raising doubts about their identification as ordinary marine animals. They also exhibited the ability to suddenly change direction, which did not correspond to the behavior of known marine creatures. The depth at which these signals were detected varied, but they were most often found at significant depths, adding to the enigma of this phenomenon. The secrecy surrounding the Quakers led to numerous theories, ranging from hypotheses about unknown marine animals as the cause of these signals to suggestions of equipment malfunctions on submarines. Some researchers even proposed the existence of unidentified submersible objects acting as spies or experimental devices. Rumors and speculations about the Quakers continued to grow, and the topic remained a subject of discussion among specialists despite the lack of clear evidence about their nature or purpose. Remarkably, even decades after the end of the Cold War, the question of the Quakers has not lost its relevance, and scientists continue to investigate the possible causes and sources of these mysterious signals. In some cases, technical failures in hydroacoustic systems were found, which could also affect the interpretation of the data. Nevertheless, theories about underwater creatures or unusual technologies continue to captivate and intrigue researchers. Red tides are a phenomenon caused by the mass reproduction of toxic microalgae, such as dinoflagellates, which turn the surface of the sea a bright red or brown color. This process occurs under certain conditions: high water temperature, excess nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus, and calm weather, when the water does not mix. Toxic algae release toxins that can have a destructive impact on marine ecosystems, including fish, shellfish, and marine mammals. When these toxins enter the food chain, they can accumulate in the bodies of animals, leading to their poisoning and, ultimately, death. For instance, when microalgae like Carenia brevis multiply en mass fish kills occur, severely impacting fish populations and other marine life in affected areas. The economic consequences of red tides are also significant. Fishing suffers from reduced catches and the closure of fishing grounds, and tourism may be affected by the closure of beaches and the deterioration of water quality. As the frequency of these events increases due to climate change and growing ocean pollution, the question of controlling and preventing red tides becomes increasingly urgent. For example, in recent years, there has been an increase in red tide incidents in regions such as Florida and California, indicating the need for more careful monitoring and the development of strategies to manage ecosystems. The ocean is not just a vast body of water, but a powerful force that penetrates deep into the human psyche. Its boundless expanses can evoke both awe and reverence, leaving an indelible mark on the soul. The crash of waves against the shore often reminds us of nature's grandeur and unpredictability, while the soft sand beneath our feet brings a sense of tranquility and serenity. Standing on the shore, a person feels part of something immense and yet vulnerable. This duality, inherent in the sea, creates a unique atmosphere where fear of the endless waters blends with a pull towards their depths. The ocean seems to whisper its secrets, beckoning us while also warning of its power. It is no surprise that many artists, poets, and philosophers have sought inspiration in these waters, understanding that the ocean can touch the most delicate chords of the soul. Its waves, like metaphors, reflect our inner experiences, demonstrating the profound connection between humans and nature. Water, swiftly carrying time away, makes us ponder the transience of life and how easily one can lose oneself amidst the vast oceanic expanses. It is this combination of majesty and vulnerability that makes the ocean an enduring source of fascination and inspiration for many, emphasizing its role not only as a natural phenomenon but also as a profound symbol of human existence. The ocean's influence on humans is multifaceted and complex, permeating not just our physical being but also our thoughts, dreams, and fears. In this context, it becomes clear that even the smallest changes in ecosystems, such as an increase in red tide occurrences, can affect our perception and interaction with this mighty element. Water, which absorbs everything from light to shadow, mirrors our inner state, raising questions about how we perceive the world around us. Thalassophilia, or love for the sea and ocean, is an intriguing psychological phenomenon that has its roots in human evolution. The hypothesis of the water ape suggests that our ancestors, who once lived near bodies of water, developed skills and adaptations that aided their survival in that environment. This attraction to water could have led to the formation of neurochemical processes in the brain, such as the release of dopamine, which is responsible for feelings of pleasure and satisfaction. Studies have shown that contemplating the calm surface of water can reduce stress and anxiety levels, making people feel more at ease and relaxed. Psychological research confirms the therapeutic effect of a marine landscape. The sounds of waves have a soothing effect on the nervous system, promoting deep relaxation. This is not just a biological reflex. Thalassophilia is reflected in art and literature. Many artists and writers, from ancient Greek myths to modern literature, have depicted the sea as a symbol of infinity and freedom. In poetry and prose, the sea often serves as a metaphor for human inner experiences, desires, and fears. For instance, in the works of authors like Joseph Conrad and Ernest Hemingway, the sea is not just a backdrop, but an active character that mirrors the human soul. Research indicates that even the simple presence of water in one's environment can improve emotional well-being and foster creativity. Furthermore, on a cultural and traditional level, many nations revere the sea as a source of life, linking their identity with its vast expanses. Thalassophilia is not just a fleeting interest. It is a deep connection that reaches back into our history and psychology. Thalassophobia is an irrational fear of the ocean and deep waters, which can manifest in people in various ways, from mild discomfort to panic attacks. This fear has evolutionary roots linked to the instinct of self-preservation. Our ancestors were forced to avoid dangerous bodies of water where predators might lurk or where there was a risk of drowning. This survival mechanism is ingrained in our psyche and can manifest in different forms, such as a person feeling anxious when on the shore or even when looking at a photograph of the ocean. The psychological mechanisms that shape thalassophobia are diverse. They can include negative memories associated with water or the influence of the environment, including stories of unfortunate incidents that occurred on water. In popular culture, this fear is often reflected in films like Jaws, where deep waters become a symbol of the unknown and deadly danger. Contemporary horror films continue this tradition, emphasizing the fear of what lies beneath the surface. Methods of treating thalassophobia can include cognitive behavioral therapy, exposure therapy, and even meditation, which help patients manage their fears. Psychologists recommend gradually introducing people to water, starting with shallow bodies of water and gradually increasing the depth, which helps reduce the level of anxiety and build trust in water. Thalassophobia is not only reflected in art, but also in the collective consciousness, where the fear of the ocean is seen as a universal human emotion that can unite people in their fears and experiences. The call of the abyss is an intriguing psychological phenomenon that manifests when people standing on the edge of a cliff or before deep water experience a fleeting desire to jump. This impulse is not a sign of suicidal tendencies, but rather a result of neuropsychological mechanisms associated with high-functional anxiety. When a person finds themselves in an extreme situation, their brain activates zones responsible for risk assessment, which can lead to the feeling of a brief desire to perform a dangerous act. Research shows that this phenomenon is not limited to individuals with mental disorders, but is also experienced by mentally healthy individuals. For instance, in a study conducted in 2018, participants reported their feelings at the edge of a cliff, and more than half admitted to experiencing this call. This phenomenon has also been reflected in literature. Herman Melville in his novel Moby Dick describes Captain Ahab's torment before the abyss, while Joseph Conrad in Heart of Darkness immerses the reader in reflections on human nature and its connection to the abyss. It is interesting to note that the call of the abyss can be linked to the concept of anxious existence, where fear and the desire to become part of something greater intertwine, creating an internal conflict in the human consciousness. These ideas highlight how fear and attraction to danger intertwine in human experience, creating a unique dynamic that is explored in various fields, from psychology to literature. Ultimately, this psychological phenomenon opens doors to a deep understanding of our nature and our relationship with fear, allowing us to better understand our inner demons in the search for meaning in life. Among those who encounter this phenomenon, there are numerous theories explaining its nature. Some scientists believe it is related to the brain's attempt to assess danger, and in moments of stress, it issues a call as a way to test the boundaries of one's control. Other researchers point to evolutionary aspects, suggesting that this instinct may have helped our ancestors avoid dangers by making them aware of risks. Seasickness of the mind is a unique state of perception that occurs in sailors after prolonged time at sea. Continuous exposure to waves and motion causes the human body to adapt to this movement, leading to changes in the perception of the surrounding environment. Sailors begin to perceive the world differently. They lose a clear sense of time and space, which can lead to a state similar to disorientation. Upon returning to land, many experience difficulties in readapting, as the brain, accustomed to constant motion, struggles to quickly switch to a static perception. Historical evidence of this phenomenon can be found in sailors' diaries, where they describe their experiences after long voyages. For instance, some recorded that upon returning to land, they experienced hallucinations, and the sensation of solid ground seemed strange and even frightening. Modern neurophysiological studies confirm that prolonged time at sea affects the neural networks responsible for perception and coordination. Researchers have found that sailors exhibit changes in the functioning of the vestibular system, which is responsible for balance. These changes can manifest as a persistent sense of anxiety and stress when on land. The psychology of people whose lives are connected to the sea is shaped by these unique conditions, making their perception of reality and emotional sphere entirely distinctive. Sailors often become more sensitive to changes in their environment and may experience a strong desire to return to the open sea, where they feel more comfortable. The ocean in world mythology is more than just a water element. It becomes a universal symbol representing both life and chaos. In its boundless waters, secrets lie hidden that have captivated human attention for centuries. Myths often depict the ocean as a boundary between different worlds, a place where reality and the supernatural converge. This space is filled with mysterious creatures and divine figures that can bestow life or drag one into the abyss. The ocean is a source of food and resources, but its unpredictable nature can lead to disasters and destruction, highlighting its dual nature. In various traditions, It is perceived as a sacred place inhabited by spirits or as a terrifying space filled with dangers. In this context, the ocean is not just a physical reality, but an essential element in the structure of myths, reflecting human fears and hopes. Legends of the deep sea convey ideas of search, transformation, and trials, which are inseparable from human existence. The unpredictability of the ocean reflects the internal struggle and the desire for knowledge, making it a significant part of the mythological discourse. Myths about voyages at sea often symbolize life's challenges, where the main characters face tests that probe their courage and determination. In this sense, the ocean mirrors human destiny, filled with twists and surprises. It lives its own life, and in its waters, not only storms brew, but also dreams that can lead to discoveries. In different cultures, the ocean serves as a source of inspiration for stories about heroes who risk everything to open new horizons, and its depths are filled with unsolved mysteries waiting for their time. Mythology describes the ocean as a place where various temporal lines intersect and where multiple realities may exist, adding another layer to its cultural significance. The ocean, with its vast expanses and mysterious depths, evokes a sense of awe, a desire to explore and understand. Poseidon, known in Roman mythology as Neptune, was one of the principal gods of Olympus and the Lord of the Seas. His primary attribute was the trident, which symbolized his power over the watery elements and served as a tool for creating storms and earthquakes. Poseidon was often depicted in a chariot drawn by hippocamps, mythical creatures with the body of a fish and the upper body of a horse, emphasizing his connection to the sea and his might. Poseidon's character was contradictory. He could be a protector of sailors or a dangerous enemy, capable of striking fear into those who did not respect him. His relationships with other gods were also complex. He often competed with Athena, the goddess of wisdom, for patronage over cities. One well-known myth involving Poseidon is his participation in a contest with Athena for control over Athens. In this contest, he offered the city a source of salty water, while Athena gifted them an olive tree. Cults of Poseidon arose in various regions, and the most famous center of worship was the temple in Corinth, where games were held in his honor. Over time, the image of Poseidon evolved, and in the Middle Ages, he came to be seen as a symbol of the power of nature and the sea, which led to his popularity in art and literature. During the Renaissance, artists often depicted him as a majestic and awe-inspiring god, reflecting humanity's perception of nature as a powerful and unyielding force. In contemporary art and culture, Poseidon continues to be a significant symbol, representing not only the power of the seas but also their beauty and mystery. In Japanese mythology, the sea deity Ryujin, also known as Watatsumi, is depicted as a mighty dragon, the ruler of the underwater palace called Ryugyujo. According to legends, this palace is located at the bottom of the ocean and adorned with precious gems and pearls. The legend states that Ryujin possesses a pearl known as Nagi no Kizu, which controls the tides, emphasizing his power and control over the sea. In myths, it is said that his daughters sometimes act as protectors of the sea, and his sons-in-law become husbands to these daughters, strengthening the bond between the human world and the spiritual realm. For centuries, fishermen and sailors have performed rituals and ceremonies in honor of Ryujin, praying for good luck and protection before setting sail. These ceremonies included offerings such as rice and sake, as well as prayers for a successful catch. In Japanese art and literature, Ryujin is often portrayed as a majestic dragon, possessing grace and strength, and his images can be found in traditional paintings, sculptures, and even in anime. These representations not only highlight his might, but also underscore the deep connection Japanese people have with the sea and its mystical powers. For instance, in classical literature like Records of the Japanese Sea, Ryujin becomes a symbol not only of power, but also of harmony with nature. The legends about his underwater palace, where heroes sometimes come to seek wisdom or assistance, also play a significant role in Japanese culture. Ryujin remains an important element of Japanese identity, linking people to their history and belief in the power of nature. Tangaroa is a Polynesian god of the ocean, playing a key role in the cosmogonic myths of the peoples of the Pacific Ocean. According to legends, He was one of the first gods to emerge from chaos, and his name translates as Lord of the Ocean or Deep Sea. On different islands, his origins vary. On Hawaii, he is known as Kanaloa, while on other islands, it is believed that he descended from the primordial gods Ringi and Papa, who represent the sky and earth. In myths about Tangaroa, his conflict with Tane, the god of forests, is often depicted. These two forces symbolize the struggle between the sea and the land, reflecting the importance and interdependence of these elements in the lives of Polynesians. Tangaroa is revered as the protector of fishermen and sailors, and his name is associated with rituals aimed at appeasing the ocean to ensure a bountiful catch. There are taboos related to his worship, such as on some islands, it is forbidden to catch certain types of fish at certain times of the year to avoid angering the god. Rituals dedicated to Tangaroa include sacrifices and dances that help establish a connection between people and the ocean. These ceremonies help maintain harmony with nature and ensure safety at sea. The importance of Tangaroa for Polynesian cultures extends beyond myths. His influence permeates daily life, where seafaring and fishing are primary sources of sustenance. On many islands, such as Tonga and Samoa, Tangaroa is revered as the founder of maritime traditions, underscoring his significance in shaping the identities of these peoples. Polynesians believe that Tangaroa can control oceanic forces, and his blessing is necessary for safe voyages. These beliefs have fostered a deep respect for the ocean, which not only provides life but can also be destructive if not treated with the proper respect. Rituals dedicated to Tangaroa help maintain the connection between humans and nature, and they continue to be passed down from generation to generation. Scandinavian sea giant Ager and his wife Ran occupy a unique place in the mythology of the northern peoples. Their underwater palace, situated at the bottom of the ocean, was a true kingdom where they welcomed gods. This magnificent place, surrounded by shimmering corals and marine wonders, served not only as their home but also as a venue for feasts where Ager hosted splendid banquets for the Aesir. At these feasts, self-luminous golden items were used, creating a magical atmosphere and emphasizing the power of the hosts. Ran, who embodied the sea, had 9 daughters known as the waves, each representing different aspects of the marine element. These daughters symbolized both calm and storm, and their names reflected the characteristics of the water element. Ran also possessed a net with which she caught drowning sailors, thus underscoring the dual nature of the sea. It could be generous and give life, but also deadly and claim souls. In this net, both danger and strength were reflected, illustrating the sea's interaction with humans. Ager and Ran embodied these contradictory traits, making them significant figures in northern mythology. It is important to note that their way of life and rituals reflected the fear and respect for the sea, which was both a source of sustenance and a potential threat. Ager and Ran, as gods of the marine element, served as a reminder that the sea is not just a resource, but also a force with which one must be cautious. The ocean in literature and art is a multifaceted symbol that embodies both boundless opportunities and profound mysteries. For centuries, it has inspired writers, artists, composers, and filmmakers, serving as a metaphor for human emotions and experiences. Its waves can symbolize both calm and storm, reflecting the inner states of characters and creators. In works of art, the ocean often serves as a backdrop for exploring themes of solitude, the search for meaning in life, or encounters with the unknown. Artists have used its colors and forms to convey moods, creating images that evoke both awe and fear. In music, the sounds and rhythms of the sea become a source of inspiration for melodies that can transport listeners to other worlds. Filmmakers, in turn to the ocean to showcase the scale and beauty of nature, as well as to emphasize dramatic moments in the narrative. Thus, the ocean becomes a universal artistic symbol that finds expression in various cultures and epics, acting as a link between humanity and the boundless natural world. In this context, the ocean is not merely a backdrop but an active participant in the artistic process, shaping perception and meaning. The emotions associated with the ocean are diverse and varied, evoking both reverence and fear, inspiration and contemplation. Art that draws from this source becomes a platform for contemplating human existence and our connection to the surrounding world. The desire to explore the ocean, to understand its mysteries and beauty, is an integral part of human culture, as evidenced by the numerous stories, myths, and legends associated with the sea. Herman Melville's novel Moby Dick is a classic work that deeply explores the relationship between man and the sea and its elements. At the center of the plot is Captain Ahab, driven by revenge against the white whale, Moby Dick, which not only symbolizes nature but also embodies an inscrutable power in the chaos of the ocean. Moby Dick becomes a metaphor for the uncontrollable and unknowable, representing both physical strength and philosophical musings on human destiny. Ahab, seeking to overcome this force, becomes a symbol of human obsession that leads to destruction. His fixation leads him to prioritize his personal feelings over the lives of his crew and his own well-being, highlighting the tragic nature of his character. Melville employs an encyclopedic approach, immersing the reader in the details of the whaling industry, describing not only the technical aspects of whale hunting but also philosophical reflections on life, death, and nature. These reflections on how man confronts the elements, how he seeks meaning in chaos, make one ponder humanity's place in the world. The novel also touches on themes of fate and free will, showing how the desire for control over nature can lead to fatal consequences. The influence of Moby Dick on literature and culture is immeasurable. The novel has inspired countless authors and has been the basis for various interpretations in art, film, and theater. Its complex symbols and profound ideas continue to be discussed and analyzed, making it relevant to this day. Throughout the world, Moby Dick is not just considered a literary work but also a philosophical treatise on human existence. William Turner, a 19th-century English painter, is renowned for his revolutionary seascapes that transformed the perception of marine painting. He did not merely depict the sea. He created a new vision of this element, blurring the boundaries between realism and abstraction. One of his most famous works is The Last Voyage of the Titanic, where he masterfully captured the dynamics of waves and the play of light on the water's surface, evoking a sense of motion and power. Turner employed a unique technique based on layers of transparent colors, allowing him to convey atmospheric phenomena with unprecedented accuracy. His paintings, such as the Battle of Trafalgar, do not just portray naval battles but also the inner turmoil within the human soul. Here, he uses vivid contrasts and bold strokes to convey the drama of the events. In Sunrise, Turner demonstrates how light penetrates through clouds, creating a sense of ephemerality and changeability in nature. His approach to depicting light became the foundation for future impressionists like Claude Monet, who also explored the interaction of light and color. Turner was not afraid to experiment, and his works such as Storm and Rain, Steam, and Speed became symbols of the transition to a new artistic language where emotions and sensations are more important than the precise reproduction of reality. His influence on the development of marine painting is invaluable, as he opened new horizons in the depiction of nature that inspired an entire generation of artists. Turner brought not only technical skill but also a profound understanding of the power and beauty of the sea to his works, making them timeless and relevant. Claude Debussy composed the symphonic suite, The Sea, which became one of the masterpieces of Impressionistic music. This work consists of 3 parts, From Dawn to Noon on the Sea, The Play of the Waves, and dialogue between wind and sea. In the first part, the composer uses soft, undulating melodies to convey the sensation of a morning sea, where light and shadows play on the water's surface. Debussy employs unusual harmonies and instrumentation, creating sound textures that resemble the sounds of the surf. The second part, The Play of the Waves, presents a dynamic interplay of various musical themes, symbolizing the playful and changeable nature of the waves. Here, the composer skillfully uses various rhythmic patterns and timbres to convey the sense of movement and energy of the water. The third part, Dialogue between Wind and Sea, concludes the suite with a contrast between calm and storm. Debussy uses extensive orchestral means, including flutes, harps, and strings, to convey the dialogue between the elements. The creation of The Sea dates back to the early 20th century, when Debussy sought new forms of expression in music, moving away from traditional harmonies and structures. This work had a significant impact on 20th century music, inspiring composers such as Igor Stravinsky and Arnold Schoenberg. The sea became a bright example of how music can convey natural images and emotions, opening new horizons in musical practice. The suite was first performed in 1903 and has since become an important part of the repertoire of symphony orchestras around the world. Japanese ukiyo-e prints, particularly in the works of Katsushika Hokusai and Yutagawa Hiroshige, depict the ocean in its various manifestations, conveying both its physical power and deep symbolism. Hokusai, in his renowned series 36 Views of Mount Fuji, created one of the most famous ocean images, the Great Wave off Kanagawa. Completed in 1830, this work showcases a colossal wave ready to engulf boats, symbolizing the unpredictable power of nature. In this print, Hokusai employs unique technical techniques. The waves are depicted with smooth lines that evoke a sense of movement and dynamism. The color palette, predominantly blue and white, emphasizes the coldness of the ocean and its vast expanses. Yutagawa Hiroshige also masterfully portrayed the sea, as seen in his work Summer Rain in Tokyo, which illustrates the interaction between water and atmospheric phenomena, creating a unique atmosphere. In Japanese aesthetics, the sea symbolized not only physical life but also philosophical concepts such as infinity and impermanence, resonating with Buddhist teachings. The influence of these prints on European art became evident in the 19th century, when Impressionists like Claude Monet were inspired by Japanese compositions and their methods of conveying light and motion. Today, the works of Hokusai and Hiroshige continue to influence contemporary visual culture, with their images used in advertising, fashion, and even video game design, demonstrating how powerful images of nature can remain timeless and inspiring across centuries. The ocean occupies more than 70% of Earth's surface and represents the last great frontier that humanity is just beginning to explore. Modern science views the ocean not merely as a watery expanse, but as a complex ecosystem filled with mysteries and secrets that require a multidisciplinary approach for study. The oceans contain vast reserves of resources that could play a crucial role in addressing global challenges such as climate change and food scarcity. However, to gain a deeper understanding of the ocean and its impact on the planet's climate system, advanced technologies, including autonomous underwater vehicles and satellite observation systems, must be employed. These tools enable scientists to explore depths once deemed inaccessible, revealing new horizons in the study of marine ecosystems and their inhabitants. Current issues, such as ocean pollution and overfishing, require a comprehensive analysis that integrates biology, geology, chemistry, and other disciplines. Nevertheless, despite all the achievements, the ocean remains a mystery, filled with unexplored territories and unknown organisms, making its study truly captivating and relevant to the agenda. At great depths, the ocean hides not only biological diversity but also geological formations that can tell the story of our planet. The ARGO project is a global network of autonomous floating buoys designed for monitoring the world ocean. These devices dive to depths of up to 2,000 meters and then periodically resurface to transmit collected data via satellite. Currently, there are approximately 4,000 such buoys in operation, measuring crucial parameters such as water temperature and salinity, as well as currents. This enables scientists to obtain detailed information about the state of ocean waters and their impact on climate changes. Thanks to the ARGO project, researchers can better understand the process of ocean circulation, which is critically important for predicting climate changes. All collected data is available in open access for scientists worldwide, fostering knowledge exchange and accelerating oceanographic research. The importance of the project is hard to overestimate. It helps identify trends in climate change, covering global processes that can affect the entire planet. For example, an ARG buoy can record temperature changes at great depths, indicating ocean warming or cooling. With this technology, scientists can not only track current changes but also make future predictions, which is particularly relevant in the context of global warming and its consequences. The Seabed 2030 project aims to complete a full mapping of the ocean floor by the year 2030. This ambitious initiative was launched to create the first comprehensive global map of the seafloor, enabling a better understanding of marine ecosystems and geological processes. By 2022, progress has reached approximately 20%, indicating that the work has only just begun. To achieve this goal, advanced multi-beam echo sounding technologies are employed, providing highly accurate data on the seafloor's topography. The project is based on international cooperation, involving both governmental and private organizations, including scientific institutions and commercial companies. Notably, data collection involves not only research vessels but also yachts, significantly increasing the volume of information gathered. This approach not only expands the project's scope but also makes it more accessible, as private boat owners can contribute data from the ocean areas they traverse. The significance of Seabed 2030 extends beyond scientific research. The data obtained will enhance navigation, the laying of underwater cables, and the understanding of geological processes, as well as contribute to the protection of marine ecosystems from human impact. For instance, precise maps can help identify areas prone to erosion or excessive pollution, which is crucial for environmental conservation. In this context, Seabed 2030 is not just a project, but a significant step towards more sustainable management of seas and oceans. Currently, research teams are actively engaged in data collection and analysis to create a comprehensive and detailed map of the ocean floor by the project's completion. Modern research into deep-sea hydrothermal vent ecosystems has opened new horizons in our understanding of life on Earth. In 1977, scientists discovered these unique oases of life on the ocean floor when the research vessel Alvin descended into the abyss to a depth of over 2,000 meters off the coast of California. These places were a true revelation. Life exists in conditions previously deemed completely inhospitable to most organisms. The unique biology of these ecosystems is based on chemosynthesis. Bacteria living in hydrothermal vents convert chemicals such as hydrogen sulfide into energy, allowing them to survive without sunlight. This is intriguing because such organisms, known as extremophiles, have adapted to toxic environments where temperatures can reach 200 degrees Celsius. For instance, black smokers, which emit hot, mineral-rich water, are home to numerous unique species like giant tube worms and various crabs that depend on bacteria forming symbiotic relationships. The study of these deep-sea ecosystems is not only crucial for understanding the origins of life on Earth, but also for searching for similar conditions on other planets. For example, astrobiologists consider places like Jupiter's moon Europa, where an ocean may exist beneath an icy crust, potentially rich in chemicals necessary for life. Given these discoveries, deep-sea ecosystems have become key objects of scientific research, deepening our understanding of biological processes and their diversity in the most extreme conditions. Research continues, and each new expedition brings unexpected findings that expand our knowledge of life on Earth. In a recent study, scientists discovered a new type of bacteria that can use carbon dioxide, opening up new prospects for studying chemosynthetic processes. Ocean acidification is one of the most serious ecological problems, arising from the absorption of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. When carbon dioxide dissolves in seawater, it reacts with water to form carbonic acid, leading to a decrease in pH. This change in the chemical composition of the ocean becomes critical for marine organisms, particularly those with calcium shells and skeletons, such as mollusks and corals. In more acidic waters, these organisms face difficulties in forming their structures, which can lead to a decrease in populations and even the extinction of entire species. Coral reefs, which depend on the health of corals, are at risk of destruction, as acidification weakens their skeletons and reduces their ability to recover. This, in turn, disrupts food chains, as reefs serve as homes for numerous marine organisms that depend on them as sources of food and shelter. Scientists use various monitoring methods, including water sample analysis and pH level measurements, to track the extent of acidification. Projections indicate that if the level of carbon dioxide continues to rise, by the end of the 21st century, the pH of oceans could decrease by 0.3 to 0 for units, which would have a devastating impact on marine ecosystems and alter the planet's climate. The future of oceanography and marine research is entering a new era, where traditional methods will be complemented by revolutionary approaches. This is not just another stage in the study of oceans, but a comprehensive system that integrates various disciplines: biology, chemistry, physics, and even social sciences. Scientists will collaborate globally, share data and experience to collectively address fundamental mysteries, such as the origin of life in the ocean and the impact of climate change on marine ecosystems. The application of new data analysis methods and modeling will deepen our understanding of complex interactions within oceanic systems. This new wave of research will not only uncover practical solutions to pollution and resource depletion problems, but also foster a deeper appreciation of the role of oceans in sustaining life on Earth. International team participation in such projects will create a unique platform for knowledge and experience exchange, thereby contributing to more effective marine environment protection. Importantly, alongside scientific achievements, cultural aspects will also be emphasized, as oceans are part of the heritage of many nations and cultures. In this context, the new generation of oceanographers will work not only in laboratories, but also in field conditions, where ocean and human intersect. This will help understand how human activity impacts the marine environment and vice versa. Ultimately, this opens up the prospect of a more comprehensive and multifaceted understanding of oceans, ensuring their preservation and sustainable management. Each new step in oceanography will not only be a scientific discovery, but also a contribution to the future of the planet, where oceans play a crucial role in maintaining ecological balance. In this context, it is worth noting that in recent years, there has also been a growing interest in studying deep-sea ecosystems, which, despite their accessibility, are true treasures of biological diversity. Research shows that more than 90% of the oceans remain unexplored, opening up vast opportunities for new discoveries and understanding. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are opening new horizons in oceanography, enabling scientists to process vast amounts of data collected from sensors on ships, buoys, and underwater vehicles. These technologies help in identifying marine animal species from images and sound recordings, significantly simplifying ecosystem monitoring and tracking population changes. For instance, deep learning systems can analyze thousands of photos and videos to accurately identify species of whales and dolphins, using factors such as body shape and unique sound signals. Additionally, machine learning allows scientists to model oceanic processes, including current movements and water temperature changes, providing a better understanding of the dynamics of the marine environment. This is particularly relevant for weather forecasting and climate change prediction, as oceans play a key role in global climate systems. Models based on artificial intelligence can process data on temperature, salinity, and other parameters to predict how changes in these factors may impact the climate in the future. Furthermore, the automation of underwater research vehicle control using AI allows for more comprehensive research, reducing risks to researchers and increasing data collection efficiency. For example, autonomous underwater vehicles equipped with AI can independently plan their routes, avoid obstacles, and optimize their time at a specified depth, leading to more accurate results in the study of marine ecosystems. The concept of the digital twin of the ocean is a detailed computer model that encompasses all oceanic processes, enabling researchers to gain a deeper understanding of the dynamics of marine ecosystems. One of the largest European projects, known as Destination Earth, aims to integrate data from various sources, including satellite observations, buoys, and underwater sensors. This allows for the creation of a comprehensive picture of the state of the oceans, covering aspects such as water temperature, salinity, oxygen levels, and current movements. Modeling based on these data enables the prediction of both local phenomena, such as the appearance of harmful algae, and global processes, such as climate change and their impact on marine flora and fauna. The application of this technology can significantly improve the management of fish resources, allowing for more accurate forecasting of fish migration and optimization of fishing activities. Additionally, the digital twin can be used to predict natural disasters such as hurricanes or tsunamis, which will aid in the development of effective evacuation and protection plans for coastal areas. Considering all these aspects, the Destination Earth project opens up new horizons for planning marine activities, including sustainable aquaculture and marine tourism, which in turn contributes to the conservation of ocean biodiversity and the maintenance of ecological balance. Within the framework of this project, methods for improving the modeling of interactions between different components of the ecosystem are also being studied, which allows for a more accurate assessment of the consequences of human activity on the marine environment. Biomimetics in marine technologies is an exciting field where scientists and engineers create robots and devices that mimic the behavior and characteristics of marine animals. For instance, fish-like robots are developed with natural agility in mind. These devices can navigate complex conditions, making them ideal for environmental monitoring and studying marine ecosystems. They are highly energy efficient, allowing them to operate for extended periods without frequent recharging. Additionally, their silent operation minimizes disturbance to underwater inhabitants, crucial for accurate research. Jellyfish-like robots, equipped with a unique mechanism mimicking real jellyfish movements, are also developed. These devices are well-suited for exploring deep ocean regions and hard-to-reach areas like underwater caves or zones with high pollution levels. Octopuses have inspired researchers as well. Robots mimicking their movements can be used for manipulating objects on the ocean floor or collecting samples. The development of entire schools of such robots opens new horizons for large-scale data collection. For example, they can work in coordination, gathering information about water temperature, pollution levels, and biological diversity in specific areas. Such technologies not only expand our knowledge of marine ecosystems, but also provide new tools for protecting the environment from human activity's negative impact. In this context, the use of biomimetics becomes a crucial step towards creating more efficient and safe underwater technologies, significantly enhancing the quality of our research. The establishment of permanent underwater research stations opens up new horizons for science and technology. One of the most ambitious projects, inspired by the science fiction of Stanislav Lem, is Proteus, a station that will be located at a depth of around 30 meters, providing conditions for long-term residence and research underwater. Technical solutions for such stations include life support systems that can recycle carbon dioxide and produce oxygen, similar to those used on space stations. This will allow scientists to stay underwater for extended periods, conduct experiments, and real-time observations. Permanent stations will enable a deeper study of deep-sea ecosystems, such as investigating the impact of climate change on coral reefs or studying the behavior of marine organisms in their natural habitat. Unlike short-term expeditions, these stations will allow for multi-year research, significantly improving the quality and quantity of data obtained. Furthermore, permanent underwater bases can serve as educational centers where students and researchers can immerse themselves in the world of oceanography, study biodiversity, and methods of preserving marine environments. These are not just scientific facilities, but also platforms for popularizing science, attracting attention to ocean issues. Comparisons with orbital space stations are also appropriate. Just as they became symbols of international cooperation in space exploration, underwater stations can become landmark projects in oceanography. As a result, the creation of such research stations opens up not only new scientific opportunities, but also paths to a deeper understanding of marine ecosystems. Currently, the Proteus project is in the active development stage and is planned for implementation in the near future. The ocean is not merely a smooth expanse of water, but a multi-layered symbol that reflects the dual nature of human consciousness. On one hand, it draws us with its beauty and mysteries. On the other, it instills fear with its power and unpredictability. The ocean, the cradle of life, hides in its depths riches that humanity strives to explore and utilize. Yet, behind each new discovery lies a reminder that we are but guests in this vast world. The ocean never yields to complete understanding. It always keeps its secrets, which humanity is just beginning to unravel. The nervous thrill before its boundlessness and majesty teaches us humility before the forces of nature, reminding us of our insignificance compared to its might. At the same time, the ocean inspires new discoveries, new searches for answers to questions that may remain unanswered for centuries. Each wave brings new ideas, new opportunities, and new dreams. The ocean is not just an object of scientific study, but an eternal symbol of the unknown, which urges us to move forward, to seek, to open, and to understand. It holds within itself thousands of mysteries waiting to be revealed. Diving into these reflections, One can only wish for a peaceful sleep under the sound of unseen waves, for the ocean will keep your dreams as it keeps its endless secrets.